whether or not Babe Ruth actually existed.
I watched Kelsey today. I'll give you a sneak peek. The overall general reviews, and I would concur, were a nice day for Kelsey today. Had a couple of snags,
I heard tight ends in general had a good day.
They did. Noah Gray had a nice snag, and I don't know that they can block anybody, but they could catch it. So that was nice. Well, they got that going for him.
Does he look better in person? Do you look more svelte?
I'm so far away. Yeah. I wasn't close enough. It wasn't a day where he hadn't spoken yet, has he?
Not that I know of. I mean, he hasn't spoken on one of the days I've been here.
Okay.
I don't believe he talked over the weekend.
That's probably when they do it. Hide it because I ain't going up there on Saturday or Sunday. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Unless I've got some other kind of meeting or something that I got to take place up there, but probably not going up there on a Saturday or Sunday. So that's probably when they'll hide it. So we can get in and out. I'm sure he'll be right on time. But
him and Chris Jones, always right on time. Swiss timing.
I'll start Chiefs. Who looked good? Right? That's the question I get all the time.
Who looked good?
Travis Kelce looked good. The tight ends did catch the ball well, including Brenningstone and Noah Gray. I saw Wiley catch a touchdown with no defenders on him. That was nice. I was like, oh, okay. There that is. And I thought overall, the one thing that this was my first day at camp, I'll be back up there tomorrow as well. So I'll get maybe a little compare and contrast, although I think tomorrow is going to be a shorty practice. But, Kenneth Walker. Let's start with Kenneth Walker. You see the change of direction and what he can do with the ball in his hands. I'm going to tell you that we have brought Softy Mahler from KJR and Dick Fain from KJR in Seattle, Chuck Powell from KJR in Seattle on here and talked about Kenneth Walker with all of them. And I don't think that anything's changed from what their evaluation was on Kenneth Walker. The drills that were going on to get things started, I watched him not block someone, but make up for it by dropping the ball.
Strong.
So I think
what they say, if you make one mistake in music, it's a mistake. If you make two mistakes, it's jazz. So Kenneth Walker's just playing some jazz.
Is that what it was?
He made it part of the song. He went all Miles Davis on us.
I'm not trying to be down. He fights the ball. He's not a smooth catcher of the football, and we're not talking about rockets. I'll be honest with you. I'll also tell you, Emmett Johnson fought the ball today. His numbers will tell you that up in Nebraska, he's a pretty good receiver in the equation. But DeMarcado catches the ball pretty smooth. I mean, he's looking like if you got a Jerick McKinnon candidate, it's him. I think he's definitely the number 2 back. If you're going to handcuff somebody to Kenneth Walker in your fantasy league, DeMarcado's the guy, not Emmett Johnson. I'll let you know if that changes, and I would listen to the guys like Sam McDowell and Matt Derrick and Jesse Newell, all the guys we have here on this station with all our great Chiefs coverage that are up there day after day. Pete Sweeney, who's going to be back with us here pretty soon on a regular basis. All those guys do a fantastic job covering it. Sam McDowell's up there all the time. If they start telling you, it looks like, Johnson's the guy for number 2, then go with them because they're going to be at more practices than I am. But I was a little disappointed in how Emmett Johnson kind of fights the ball. And again, one day, let's see what happens. I might go back and be like, ooh, silky smooth. Ran a wheel route down the side, made a diving catch. How about this one-handed behind-the-back snag he made? But first time I was like, just like even the catches are kind of like a little, not just, you like those hands where the ball seems like it pushes the hands back towards the chest and then they wrap it into the running position, as opposed to the hands go out and then stay out there and then kind of wiggle around as the ball's kind of bouncing around in between the two hands, and then they finally secure it. There was
that's kind of like the soccer version or the football version of got skilled players who can take the ball.
The one-touch pass, as opposed to I got to settle it, I got to look up, and then now I'm going to pass. Exactly.
Guy can catch the ball and he's starting to make the move.
And that's
sometimes
what
a half second's all it takes.
And that's exactly what happened in this drill. Was Mahomes went to Emmett Johnson, and he kind of fought the ball to bring it in. He brought it in, but by the time he was done staring at his hands and got his head around, the defender was on him. Where if he catches it smooth and gets his head around, he's got a chance to make a move on the guy,
which he has ability to do.
Which he's got. I mean, I will say that they ran a power run around left, and And where we're sitting, it's good. It's like an end zone view, and so is it good. You can see the blocking, and I'm like, well, that's jammed up. This is how your head's working. It obviously goes faster than this, but I'm like, wow, that's jammed up. He gave a kind of a like a hint, like he was coming inside, and then broke outside. And as he was breaking outside, the defenders were kind of coming in, and that created the gap and the space to get outside and get on around the edge. And so, he's a runner, and like he can catch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But neither he nor Kenneth Walker they're not going to play Marshall Faulk style. Let's split him out and have him run a route. You could do it, and if you can scheme him wide open against a linebacker, or you catch somebody where they got a defensive end that's out there, okay, yeah, he can get open, body catch it, and have plenty of time. But I was just like, I know what Andy Reid wants at that running back spot, and DeMarcado's the guy who catches the ball. I mean, if you cram DeMarcado and Kenneth Walker together, then you've probably got you've got Andy Reid's dream back. Because DeMarcado did appear, again, short sample size, but did appear to be willing to stick his nose in there and be a better blocker. We had some linebacker, running back, pass rush drills.
He likes that position, that part of it.
Yeah, I mean, he's insane. I think you convince yourself that you like that, because another man getting a full run at you while you've got to stand your ground sucks. I don't care who you are, but I appreciate that he verbalizes that and is at least trying to make himself believe that. But I think he looks like the third down back and the number 2 back for the Chiefs. But I will say this, of the running backs overall, they are small. I mean, 211 is the heaviest. Maybe somebody's listed at 215. But there is nobody that you would even kind of consider saying that's a fullback.
Yeah.
So the idea that they're going to play with power will have to come with either one of the tight ends lining up in the backfield, or a guard lining up in the backfield on just an obvious short yardage situation, or still just one back, but putting extra big people on the field up on the line of scrimmage. I mean, their backs are smaller, and I do think 3rd and 1. What are you going to? You're not going to quarterback sneak it. There's not a guy who's going to trot in as, okay, here's our power guy,
Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, your
cheat code's not there anymore.
No, he's not there, and so I that's going to be interesting. I mean, I think that's going to be something to watch, and it's something I don't think we're really going to see, because I don't know that they'll even run their true short yardage package if they get in the preseason a 3rd and 1. So, that jumped off the charts at me.
Yeah, DeMarcado is listed at 215. But you mentioned he's the max. Emmett Johnson,
and I don't know that I even buy the 215. I mean, he was
like
stouter. I thought for his 40 time, and what I remember as highlights as a kick returner, and guy at Arizona catching the ball at Arizona. And this is because he was at the podium. He was wearing kind of a big shirt. He didn't have his jersey on, I don't think, or maybe he had his jersey on without his pads, but he had a long sleeve shirt underneath, and so you didn't really, it was like, has he got Thomas Jones guns, or is he, got
it's smooth
Travis Kelce smooth body? Like, what do we got here? And I mean that not from checking Travis Kelce this year, but just Travis Kelce's never looked like Shannon Sharp.
No.
Okay, I mean, let's just be clear. It's just a different body type. So yeah, that kind of jumped out at me. I think continuing on the offensive side of the ball, I think offensive linemen are going to have to be deployed if they want to run with power there. None of the tight ends, they're pushing pester guys, all of them. Brenningstool more than the others, right? So the idea is that they gave big money to him last year to get him, or big money is relative to UDFA money, to get him in there. He's brought in to catch the ball. I mean, they're all pushing pester tight ends. So my early indication is, I think they probably want to run the ball more. Yeah, I think they'll be under center more, but they're not sealing the edge. I mean, I like that. It feels more to me like they will string it along and look for Kenneth Walker to put his leg in the ground and cut it up. that they'll be hand fighting along the line of scrimmage, and can he find the gap, put his leg in the ground, and get up the field? I don't know that anyone's going to crush down the side of the defensive line.
Do they have room? I mean, could they possibly Kareem Hunt sitting on a couch somewhere? Is he completely done with this team?
If you decide that DeMarcado is going to return kicks and Emmett Johnson can return kicks and Cyrus Allen can return kicks and punts, I'm talking kicks and punts, you go with Nico Remigio, who also can, he makes the squad as the fifth or sixth receiver if you keep six, and so you don't need a kick returner. You could call Kareem Hunt.
Yeah,
you could call Kareem Hunt and fit him on there. I would be almost intrigued by the idea of telling Kareem Hunt to go ahead and get under the get to work on the weights and let's try to make you a fullback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If no one's offering you anything, do you want to play for the league minimum and try to convert to a fullback? Sign him to the practice squad, get him eating and lifting, and can you make him a fullback? Because he does not battle the ball and catching it.
No.
And, if he could take to the blocking a little bit, and if football is being taken from him and he's willing to do it, I'd be open to that idea. He'd be, more your Roger Craig and your non-traditional, a little bit undersized fullback, but there are guys that have done that. I'd be intrigued by that.
It just seems so odd to think they have an idea of doing more power running, and then a guy who was just almost unstoppable.
I think Andy Reid,
short yardage.
Andy Reid would say that we have an idea of running it more from under center.
Yeah,
and he would leave the word power out.
That's true, but that would still be something that Kareem Hunt would be really good at. It's just odd that they haven't been able to. There's been no discussion at all. At least it's a little odd to me.
Yeah,
it seems to fit perfectly. It seems to fit more with this type of offense than he did the offense he was in a year ago.
Well, I think. Listen, Andy Reid keeps talking about we're going to mix it, and Sam McDowell said it last night on our Red, Gold, and Bold podcast that I don't know why Andy Reid would broadcast anybody what his plans are. So of course he's going to be like, yeah, we're going to do it all.
It'd be cagey.
So I think they, right now, if you ask me, okay, true serum, are they going to look more like last year, or are they going to look more like the Rams or more like the 49ers? They're going to look more like last year. Like, I think it's more of Kenneth Walker's being put into their offense. They had under center runs. I don't think they've added any under center runs. The question is, will he call the under center runs and will be effective without having quality blocking tight ends and or putting bigger people out on the field or playing with a fullback. So I do think that you're going to see they have two defensive linemen, Peter Woods and is it what's Tonga's first name?
Kyrus.
I was going to say Kyrie. Kyrus Tonga.
Kyrus Tonga have both played as a short yardage blocking fullback, and I think Andy Reid would probably like to bring some of that fun back. Where if you gave me a 1.5 rushing touchdown by defensive linemen this year, I would take the over. Like, I think with
Dontari Poe.
Yeah, because both of them have had the ball in their hands, and both of them are low to the ground. They're not taller guy like Chris Jones. I know they fooled around in practice in the past with Chris Jones, taking the getting the ball, but at 6'6", he's up in the air. There's a lot of ways to get a helmet or a shoulder or a fist up under the football. These guys, Peter Woods. By the way, Peter Woods is not a fat ass. I mean, he was taking pads off. I don't know who he's getting ready to talk to, but I mean, he's not tall. He's the opposite of Chris Jones, and I'm not saying he's ready to compete in the Olympia, but he is not out of shape. I mean, he's an impressive looking guy. You see why he's quick. I mean, the man spent some time in a weight room.
He's been something of a rave for people. Rave reviews the first week or so.
Yeah, and I get it. So that to me, my first impression is that it's not going to change as much as people like. Not going to change as much as I would like. But I kind of knew that coming in because I think you would have changed the personnel a little bit more.
My secondary fear is it would be, in addition to that, would be that it does change, but at the first sign of trouble, when you're doing something different and suddenly things start going wrong, your reaction is to go back to what you're comfortable with. And after the first game and a half and things aren't going quite the way, is he going to stick it out, or is he going to go, you know what, we tried that, it didn't work, let's go back to what we do? That would be my secondary fear.
Yes. It's my primary fear.
Yeah.
That's my secondary fear, but my primary fear is that the thought is, I'm Andy Reid, I know what I'm doing, and no one's going to tell me to change.
Yeah.
It's like, well, because in the past, no one had to tell you to change. Andy, you changed on your own. You saw it. You saw what needed to happen.
A 68-year-old head coach has been doing this for almost 30 years.
Yeah, that's my primary fear. I want to be clear. That's not my prediction.
Right.
That's my primary fear, just because the man is 68 years old and I'm on old guy watch.
And we've watched him for 14 seasons. We kind of know that he's very much a person of, for someone who his reputation as being innovative, he is amazingly inside his own box. I mean, the creation, anything that's creative that he does is still within that box. He doesn't want to go outside that to get things. He wants to create things within his own scheme and his own ideas, which is kind of an odd combination. You'd think anybody who's interested, I want to find every way possible to gain yardage, would step outside of his comfort zone and go, hey, what else is working over there? But he doesn't really do that very much.
No. So that was the offensive side of the ball. On the defensive side of the ball, Felix Onyeudike-Uzomah was getting used a lot. Andy Reid talked about it, that Ashton Gelati being down has meant there's more reps open for him, but using him up and down the line. And so if he can stay healthy, I think there's going to be snaps for him. You know, we had a bold and daring prediction on our Red, Gold, and Bold, or not a bold and daring. We had one of our over-unders that we did, and I put it out there at 25% of the snaps. Would Felix Onyeudike-Uzomah get 25% of the snaps? It's easy to go under and say he's going to be hurt because he's been hurt basically for 3 years. But, you know, he's out there now. He did kind of come up flexing the leg at one point, but stayed in and kept playing. So whatever it was minor. But, you know, he played 31% of the snaps, I think, his rookie year. And wasn't he 97?
Yes.
When did he switch to 91?
He was in his first year.
Was Derek Noddy squatting on 91, and that's what?
That may have been what it was.
I thought Noddy changed numbers as well, but I recognize 91. I know Tom Haley wore it and all, but I think it's awful. I think 91 sucks for defensive linemen, and I think 71 sucks for offensive linemen, and Josh Simmons wears 71. No offense to Josh Simmons, I just hate the number. And it's got a great lineage here. Ed Buddy wore 71.
Yeah.
And was a great football player.
Mitchell Schwartz wore 71 with
I hated it. Still do. I don't know why. Just don't like how it looks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that stood out to me that, like, okay.
How about 99? I'm sorry.
99's Peter Woods. That's a great number.
Oh, you like that? Okay.
Oh, how could you not like
Okay.
99?
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's the biggest number on the board.
Also Aaron Donald's number.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron Donald, Mark Gastineau, I know was a flake, but he wore it and wore it well.
Sapp.
Warren Sapp, Dan Hampton, the Danimal.
Mm-hmm.
There's more.
I'm seeing here 97 his first 2 years, 91.
Was J.J. Watt 99?
90.
Shut your mouth. He was not 90.
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Pretty sure. I know T.J. Watt's 90. Let's see.
I think T.J. Watt's 90.
JJ wore 99.
Shut your hole.
You win.
TJ was
TJ
90.
was 90. Okay, yeah, JJ 99, even for both teams. My bad. Let's see.
Jerome Brown wear 99?
I think he
might have been 90. Was he 98? Or 92 is Reggie White.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure Jerome Brown was 99.
Jerome Brown.
I bet he was with the Eagles.
He was.
Thank you.
There's a bag.
I know more 99s than you do. We
do.
just established that.
I'm going to find out. I'm going to look up and see what players had the most approximate value for wearing the number 99.
Aaron Donald. Here ended the lesson. Who could possibly? I mean, Dan Hampton would be good.
Let's see, Aaron Donald, Jason Taylor.
Donald was one, right?
Yep, Donald won, but barely 152. Jason Taylor
because Jason Taylor played 15, 16 years. He played more years.
Yeah, he played from 90 exactly 15 years.
Yeah.
Warren Sapp, J.J. Watt, Dan Hampton, Mark Gastineau, DeForest Buckner, Levon Kirkland, Jarrell Casey. We're getting kind of down into the weeds.
We've gone far enough.
But the big boys are the top five.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, Peter Woods wearing 99. Love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Prediction of greatness. You don't give 99 to a
Wonder if-
turd.
Look
That's
at the
my
Chiefs
opinion.
and see who the best 99 is.
I'll give you a number I don't like. 51 on R. Mason Thomas. Sucks. I don't like 51 either. The only good one numbers are 21. That's it. We're done. 31, okay.
Yeah.
31's okay. 11, I'll tolerate at quarterback. 1 is fine, but 41, 51, 61, 71, 81, 91.
Dick Butkus, 51.
I know. So I was going to say, if he were a middle linebacker, I could tolerate it because Butkus wore it and wore it well.
Yeah.
But on an edge,
What? By the way, the best
give
99.
him 40. Cooper McDonald. What did he wear at Oklahoma? 45 or 44? There's my. I left my roster in the car. Let me see here. 44 is Cooper McDonald, and I'm trying to see who. Do they have a 45? Like, why wouldn't you give him 45? Give him one of those numbers.
But Jim Lynch wore 51. But
I'm not saying no one good has ever
it was
worn
60 years ago.
I'm just saying I don't like the
Or
number.
50 years ago, yeah. The best 99 for the Chiefs was Mike Bell.
He was
He
good.
was pretty damn good.
Multiple Pro Bowls.
Yep. Mike Dana also wore 51.
Bryce Phillips is wearing 45. A UDFA corner.
Who's got 45?
What did R. Mason Thomas wear? He wear 20 something. I'd even take that. 51.
What the heck?
What did he do to?
No idea.
But yeah, Peter Woods looks the part. I thought
32 at OU.
32. Well,
Nick Bolton wears
Nick
32.
Bolton wears
doesn't he?
32, so that's off the board. And 33 is retired, which
Yeah.
annoys me. It's a tragedy, but I can't remember. Was that Mackley Hill?
Stone Johnson.
And what was
Hill's 36.
36. Those two are off the board for guys that barely played for the Chiefs. They died.
Yeah,
I
Stone
recognize
Johnson
it.
literally died because of an on-the-field accident, and Mackley Hill died in complications on knee surgery.
But, yeah. Anyway, I digress. Pat looked sharp. Pat did some kind of sidearm, almost under, like submarine throw. It was not complete, and he was not, he kind of just created his own pass rush because they don't get too close to Pat, thankfully.
Yeah.
Pat did go down one time after handing off and stayed down for like a second and then hopped up and then was, flexing the knee. And I thought it was because he was adjusting the brace. Those around me thought, I don't know. But stayed in, kept playing, so he seemed to be fine. But I do think if you go up to camp, you're going to be like, why is he fiddling with the brace? At least if you're like me, he's fiddling with the brace again. What is it? What's going on there?
What?
But he moved around. He even sprinted over and helped somebody up off the ground, which I'm like, don't do that. Because when you sprint over to do that, then you got to stop fast. I don't want that.
Every time
So
something...
just tell so-and-so, hey, go help him up.
You're the quarterback.
Hey,
I know you're trying to lead by
Rookie,
example.
Emmett Johnson, go help that guy out.
Hey,
Yeah.
dog, go help him, dog.
You're trying to lead by example, but you're now Patton.
Yeah.
Okay, you are now Eisenhower. You
MacArthur.
tell people to go do things for you, and the fact that you took the time to tell someone else to do it will be regarded with esteem
Yes.
and admiration because you cared enough to tell somebody else to go do what needed to be done.
Delegate.
He ran over and then had to stop right there to help the guy up. I'm like, don't do that.
Stop. That's kind of funny because fans, as we watch this, anytime you mention this, grabbing the thing, anything that looks weird, we're going to be like a dog when they hear a sound. It's
Yeah.
the first sound. Oh my God, is that an intruder? Oh my God, is he hurt? Is he hurt? Or a parent with their kid. Oh,
Yeah.
is Billy hurt?
Yeah. So overall, I thought practice seemed crisp. There was no Eric Bieniemy out there. You are missing that. There were some people. I mean, Chad O'Shea gets after people. He'll chirp. But I thought overall pretty good practice. There were moments for both sides of the ball, and they're 3 days into pads, and so I think there was probably a little bit of fatigue, and they're just getting their pad legs under them. There was a lot of the UDFAs are hitting more than I think probably people would like. There are a couple of comments like he pops 8-7 like that, he's going to get a football in the face mask.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it'll be interesting.
You're trying to make the team, but
yeah, don't do it on
don't-
you see 8-7 coming, you back away, son. That's
Yes.
how that works.
yes.
But I thought Kelsey
Pop 8-3, you're fine.
Kelsey does not move. He has what appears to be very heavy legs going on and off the field. I think he's pacing himself, and then when it's time to go do something, then he fires it up.
Yeah.
So, but he didn't look like a giant fat ass to me. I didn't see him up close. Didn't look super skinny to me. Looked kind of average, I would say. So I don't have any alarms going off on that. But I don't think he's in the best shape. I always point to the George Brett 85 year where George said he really went to work in the offseason. He realized he was getting older and had to do it and came back and kind of changed his body and did things. I keep waiting for that for Salvi.
It went 335, 30, and 112 or something like that.
Yeah, and I wait for it for Kelsey. It's not there, so he'll be whatever a year older will allow him to be. That's my view of where he's at. But we'll play some of the sound from the guys. I thought some interesting stuff from Josh Simmons, Andy Reid talking about the running backs. We'll do that. Also want to get into some of the comments. Listen, I'm not lobbying for the firing of Matt Quatrero, but I don't like what I heard in response to a question Kurtis asked last night. We'll get into that coming up here as well. Open up the phone lines. Chiefs, Royals, Sporting, Missouri, K-State, KU, always a topic here on the program. 913-3-810-810, off and running here on a Wednesday. You're in the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, talking Chiefs, talking a little Royals here, 913-810-810. We'll hear from the post-practice here in a little bit, but I want to get this on the table. I was going to try to get it in there on the first segment, but did not get it done because I babbled too long. So I want you to hear from Matt Quatraro. Kurtis Seaboldt asking Matt Quatraro last night after the game if he'd like to see Jack pull the ball more.
His power is so, all over the place and prodigious that I don't care where he hits it. We've seen him when he goes on those hot streaks, he hits them to left. He can line them out to left. So he's going to hit home runs and he'll pull plenty of balls in the air, but to be consistently making contact, good contact, doesn't matter where he hits it.
It does.
Well, it does. Because you don't want him to hit the ball into a glove. You want him to hit the ball over the wall, right?
Yeah. I mean, he can hit it out to center, but it's shorter down in the power alley and right. And it's even shorter if you pull it right down the line.
How many home runs does Jack Caglione have?
This year, I think he has.
I think he's at 18.
18,
Yeah.
something like that.
So here's what I'm curious. He's got 18?
I'm pulling it up now. Yes.
Okay. So quick search here. I'm logged in. You have my name at the top.
Oh, you hate that. You doing a stat head?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you have my name up there.
Yes.
Like
Yes,
I'm logged in.
That is so annoying. That happens to me once a week.
Jesus. I mean,
Welcome back, Kurtis. Now you have to log in. Well, if you know it's me, why
and then
do
I got to
have
go
log in?
put the search all the way back in.
Yes.
Um,
I'm not sure what's more annoying, that or having to wait for Pro Football Reference to determine that I'm a person.
Jack Caglione is tied for 48th in baseball in home runs. 6'5", 250 pounds, a below-average right fielder, and you don't care where the ball goes? Now, listen, I understand what he's getting at. He has massive power. He can hit the ball out to all fields. Then do it.
Yes.
Then do it.
Yeah. But wouldn't you want to make it easier for him to do that?
I mean, I understand the sentiment, but I don't expect him to be like, yeah, we'd like him to pull the ball more, because he doesn't want to advertise maybe what they're working on him with. Or he means what he just said. And I'm going to tell you, that's my fear is, there was a comment, Steven played it, and you might look at the morning show. Jake and Steven had George Brett last night on the broadcast, and he was on, and Hosmer was calling the game, and they were talking about Salvador Perez breaking the home run record. And, I thought it was an interesting conversation. We'll see if we can find it, because I want George to. I don't want to steal away from what George was getting at with it. And if you've already heard it, you know what I'm getting at, so it's already lost with you. But like I would say, like, okay, he's just covering for him, but fundamentally they're doing something different. If I hadn't heard that exact same thing for the last 20 years, all fields. And listen, I think there's some guys that's probably a good idea. But what are you trying to get out of Jack Caglione? Like, what is your vision for what he will be at his best? Is his best a batting title at 328 with 29 home runs? Or is the best 255 with a 4-something on base because they fear his power with 52 home runs? I mean, I've heard people, this stat was going around last week about, there are only 6 guys hitting above 300. And it was being said forlornly, like, back in the day. Yes, because back in the day, no one realized that you could hit the ball over the wall. They thought you were just this mythical creature. John Mayberry and Steve Balboni and a handful of guys were just either gigantor or they were these freak wrists, and there was no way you could alter it. You either were born with it or you weren't.
Yep.
And then about 10, 15 years ago, numerous guys, president of the club being Jose Bautista, who passed through this town where everybody was telling him, hit the ball to all fields. Which, I mean, it predates the Dayton Moore era of them talking about hitting the ball. We got such a big ballpark. You don't need to be trying to hit home runs. You need to hit the ball at all fields. You got to get it in the gaps. We're a doubles ballpark. You got to hit it. You just got to hit the ball hard somewhere. Okay. Right? Meanwhile, Jose Bautista transformed himself from a journeyman guy that was constantly bouncing from club to club to club to a 50-plus home run hitter when he said, I'm going to turn on it, I'm going to lift it. And so, listen, let me be the contrary voice, Jack Caglione, if you're listening, or his relatives or friends or families. Do you want to get paid? I'll put it, forget about the ball club. Do you want to get paid? I mean, if the answer to that's no, then hit the ball to all fields. Like there's these things. It was kind of like and I'll maybe address it later on. The debate that was going on about Jack Caglione in the outfield between, it's kind of Jason and Darcy versus Mick and Sterling. I mean, it kept being like, well, you're for this, so therefore you want zero of the other. Well, that's not life. Everything is shades of gray. And there's percentages of everything. If you say you want him to pull the ball and somebody says, well, I just want him to hit the ball hard, I guess you don't want him to hit it hard. No, I do. But the reason I want him to pull the ball is because he doesn't have to hit it as hard and he can still hit home runs. It's 80 feet closer. It's 80 feet closer. What are we talking about here? Why am I even having this discussion? It's intro to geometry, right? I can't, if you don't get 80 feet less, it takes 80 feet less power. Well, he's got prodigious power. Then why doesn't he hit it out every time? Is a ball ever caught at 370 feet? Well, guess what? If that was down the line, that's a home run. That's why I want him to pull the ball. That's why I want him to hit the ball in the air. It's simple mathematics, which I thought was going to be the focus of how this organization was going to be run. If he hits it so hard, then when Dad's lobbing cookies in, go win a home run derby. Oh, so you're going to say because you can't win the home run derby? I'm going to say it's clearly a measure of power. Because the guys that win it have immense power. The guys who perform well have immense power. Go look at the names of the people that have won that. There's a couple of them. Cespedes is the biggest one that had power, but I wouldn't have called him a power hitter who could really perform in that. But Pete Alonso, piano mover. Take, rake, bomb, pull. That's what he does.
He's called the polar bear.
Yes.
I mean, he's just
Prince Fielder?
Yes.
Vlad Jr.
I mean, come on. Like, and those are the most valuable hitters in baseball. Are we going by WAR? We love to champion WAR when it's making Bobby look good because of his defense. But we don't want to listen to it when it comes to the hitting? No. Don't go Aaron Judge on this. Don't go Mark McGwire. Hit the ball to all fields.
Which is something you tell someone who can't hit the ball over the fence regularly. Just type in, to go to YouTube and look, say, Kyle Schwarber home run highlights, and watch how many of them are between the power alley and the line.
By the way, did you find that Brett bite?
New Day did not have it in their folder. I'm still looking.
Okay. Well, basically, I'll just tell you what he said. He basically was on with, and it was Hosmer and Jake, I think, and they were talking about it, and Eisenberg brought him on as like, the second best home run hitter, because it was a night to celebrate Salvi, and George was smiling, and George has been nothing but complimentary and great about Salvi breaking his record. They talked about how he held it for 40 years. And George said to Eric Hosmer, well, I thought you were going to be the guy to break it, but you wouldn't listen to me. And we know there was a stretch where George, a quick cup of coffee, was the hitting coach with Eric Hosmer and Mike Moustakas when those guys were struggling. And everyone's like, this is a problem. They finally dusted another hitting coach. I don't remember who it was at that time. And George came in and, these guys have outside hitting coaches that are in their ear, which are usually run by their agent. And they listen. Here it is. This is, you found it? Okay. This is George last night on the TV broadcast, Royals TV.
In Royals franchise history.
Well, I'll tell you something that's crazy. I thought Haas was going to be the one that broke it, but he wouldn't listen to me. I tried.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
We're off the rails in 10 seconds.
Oh, man. I was messing with you last night at the Royals charity event. So there was a couple people went on stage, and they're like, man, I don't know if George is handling being in second place. Well,
You guys were all up there with the rear guy, right?
10-year bottle. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But I shot you.
I mean, and George has handled it great. By the way, he was joking with that. But, you hear, George sold out. George was really in neutral or in reverse for his big league career very early at a very young age. And Charlie Lau, he got with Charlie Lau, and he sold out to what Charlie Lau was preaching, and it clicked with him. I've always said I think hitting coaches are a little bit like golf swing doctors. Like, I think you could have a different hitting coach for everybody on the team. Like, find the guy that works well with you. And I think that's what players do in the offseason, and that's why it's so much different now to be a hitting or pitching coach, because you've got to get in tune with what their agent academy is doing with them and not work against them. And that was a big part of the problem with the Royals. Who knows what John Lamb could have been if he wasn't doing the Royals throwing program and a long toss program at the same time. That happened because he believed in what his agent was telling him, yet the Royals said don't do it. But he wanted to do it, and then they had him doing a whole nother throwing program, so he was putting two throwing programs together. Same thing with Mike Montgomery. That crew of pitchers were at war with what the philosophies were, and the Royals and Dayton Moore, and who was Captain Happy, the old guy's dead now, but that was running over our table at spring training.
Bill,
whatever, anyway.
pitching guy.
Yeah.
Bill Fisher.
I remember asking somebody, and I go, hey, Bill Fisher. I go, what are your thoughts on him? I asked a front office guy at another team. They're like, oh, yeah, happy guy.
Yeah.
He's not a happy guy. But, like, they really, I think that was a big part of the problem with their pitching program. At that same time, I was asking Terry Francona, who had just landed with the Guardians, then Indians, at the GM manager symposium they would have with all the teams in Arizona out there. Hey, throwing programs, long toss, where are you? We gotta work with the guys, find out what works for them. There are different things that work with different people. It was entirely different. Well, Terry Francona had more success than, the Royals had at that time, and I think it was Unicycle guy was the manager then.
Trey Hillman.
And, and Trey Hillman was carrying out the marching orders of Dayton Moore, and they were still trying to do things the way the Braves did things, and that's not it. And so, listen, if Jack Caglione has something that works, Jack Caglione, if he hits the ball straight away, is going to hit home runs. Right? There's no doubt. He does have prodigious power. But if Jack Caglione can learn to pull and lift the ball, Jack Caglione can be a special hitter. Period. Otherwise, his max power production is going to be his prime physical years, and then that's going to be it. And he's about ready to enter those. And he'll start coming out of those at 28, 29, 30. Right? And there'll be a downslope. But if you can learn to pull the ball, you can lose 20% of your power and still hit the ball over the wall. Because if 100% of your power hits the ball 450 and you lose 20% of it, you're still hitting it 340. And if you hit it down the line, that still goes out. You see what I'm getting at? This is not it spirals into this debate of hitting techniques and approaches and everything, and that's not what it is. It is raw, simple addition, subtraction, and Allie the alligator eats the bigger number. Greater than, less than. It is really that blanking simple. So I hope that is just a defense of the way he hits the baseball right now. But behind closed doors, somebody is trying to get Jack Caglione to turn on the ball. All right, I've been talking a lot. Let's take some phone calls. 913-810-810 if you want to grab a line, 913-810-810. Soren, Petro with you here in the program. Jeffrey with us in the program. What's going on, Jeffrey?
Yeah, I liked the last segment a lot.
Thank you.
The Q is the one that's totally infatuated with pitching. He was the one that said we need pitching, and more pitching.
That was actually John Sherman that I recall saying that. I don't remember Q making a statement like that.
No, I remember the Q saying that in a dugout not in the dugout, but when he was first hired.
Okay.
I remember him first saying that for sure.
And
I think
you go ahead.
And they got 3 pitchers now on their trade, so that sort of supports that.
Well, they also, if you heard J.J. Piccolo, we played some of the bites from him. If you heard his post-deadline press conference, he basically went around the diamond and said, "We think we're set at all the positions," which I would object to, and I think you would as well, because they're 25th in runs scored. Now I know they've had injuries, but they're 25th in runs scored. And so I think they need an upgrade amongst the position players as well. But, you know, they don't seem to view it that way.
No, and they're wrong. That's basically, they're wrong. The third baseman is not set. The outfield is not set. You know, that's basically wrong, but they're infatuated with pitching.
Well, I don't know that they're infatuated with pitching. I mean, you know, they've had pitching injuries. They've had injuries everywhere, but the pitching injuries, and Jeffrey, thank you for the call. When they didn't have injuries 2 years ago, they went to the playoffs and won a series. They pitched great, and they won. The problem is, you won all this pitching because you need depth of pitching because you can't count on pitching. And so that's why you won all the pitching. If you look at the Milwaukee Brewers, I constantly talk about them flipping guys. When they don't flip guys, they're position players, and they re-sign them. They've given Jackson Chourio a contract. They gave Christian Yelich a contract. Didn't they even give the second baseman a contract, I think, too? You know, that's where they've locked guys in, is at the position player spots. And so, look, when it comes to the position players, I'd tell you this. Jack's power is so prodigious, you don't need him to do what numerous other JD Gonzalez, JD Martinez, Jose Bautista, David Ortiz, numerous players that kind of changed their approach and tried to lift and pull the baseball and made what were at least all-star caliber careers, MVP caliber careers. He's so powerful he doesn't need to do that? Fine. Then you clearly believe in the talent, so why aren't you signing him? I mean, my reaction to this is, if you're sold on these players and you don't need to go add to them, then why aren't you signing them to deals? And this offseason will be a big question mark for Carter Jensen and for Jack Caglione. There are teams that are signing guys, whether it's Emerson with the Mariners, or there's a couple of them. The Brewers signed somebody also this year before they ever even got to the big leagues. Is it a case of you don't know what you have? Or do you believe in them the way you said, this is why we can compete next year? If you believe in them, sign them.
All right, Bob had 3 hits last night. Among active players, who has the most career 3-hit games? Brought to you by Twin Peaks.
All right, welcome back. You're in the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHU. We need a contestant. Let's go, 913-810-810. Grab a phone line, 913-810-810. You could win yourself a $25 gift card to Nick and Jake's just for playing.
Just for playing.
But if you can win,
even more.
we're going to take that to 40. And if you don't call quickly, we're going to bring in Whiskey.
Whiskey, because last week
Because Whiskey didn't get a play. iPhone played. Did not play well.
He was okay.
He was all right.
We let them back in the game, and then we almost cost ourselves.
But we
Whiskey
righted the
reminded
ship.
me that she played with Sit Down and Dottie last year.
Oh, she did?
she
Oh,
played.
okay.
Oh.
All right. Well, I know the lines are ringing, so we'll let a contestant play.
No
She's
soup
also
for
in
you.
there. She's also in there going, no, cut. But, you know,
I wasn't prepared for this.
No, I'm thoroughly enjoying researching the career records of every Power 4 college football coach.
She
I'm
loves
engrossed in it.
She loves that. It's
She's
everybody's
an SEC
favorite.
country now, so
You know what?
college
Just
football's
check in.
king in her world.
It means more. Just means more down
Does
there.
it mean
does.
more down there?
Yeah.
Just does.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting that it means more. And somebody wins
big hearty
and
head
loses
shake. Yes, it means
every
more.
game. So
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does mean more down there. Todd, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great.
St. Joe's still there.
It is still there.
I can't
You got
confirm.
to see all parts of it today. You were inside, outside, up the hill, down the hill.
Mm-hmm. Is that
The
a good
fans
thing?
had to go back to their cars and then come back out.
Did they? Oh, did they start outside and then go in?
I think so.
No, I don't race right up there to be. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
Brown knows anybody to be there first.
They
You weren't
went
the
in,
first
then
guy.
went back out.
I was not the first guy, so they were already
They'd come back out.
inside
Oh, they were already in. Yeah.
when I was.
They started
when I got
in, went
there.
out. It started out, went in, went out.
Okay, but
The
we got
old
back
in and
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old. Oh, okay. Todd.
And you had to hustle back. You didn't get the food today.
No, our friends at Zarda,
They were there today. huh?
Zarda Barbecue, which is a massive day for everybody in the media.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the Chiefs may have
Christmas.
pulled one over on some folks
Yeah. People
because
didn't know right away.
yeah, I always, try to talk to, we hear all the guys, Jesse Newell, Pete Sweeney, Sam McDowell,
I was there yesterday.
Matt
I heard
Derrick.
no tale of barbecue today. Now, maybe they were just
Well, that's what I'm
keeping it
saying.
from me.
Usually it's more of a known commodity. And today, like today's barbecue day.
Yeah.
And they were all giddy, which they should
yeah.
have. And I was like, you got to be kidding me because I've got to leave.
I've got to leave. I don't have time for this.
Back in the day, when it was at River Falls,
Hang around.
I had all day.
Hang
I
around.
could sit. I don't think I've had a Zarda barbecue day since River Falls.
Probably not. I have been very lucky
And
to have been there
the
all
people
the
of
other
Zarda
days.
are great. They give back to the community.
Yeah.
Their golf tournament raises a ton of money. That family, that Zarda family, is giant in Kansas City and so philanthropic and just great people. And the Zarda Barbecue Day is an iconic day. I'm going to tell you. You want to see happy media fatties? Zarda Barbecue Day.
Did you go into the media room up there?
I had to go
You
find
poke your
somebody
head
that.
in?
Well, where I had to, I still
You
have the
got your
bracelet on.
wristband, yeah.
I forgot I haven't taken that off.
That's room 220.
Leave
it on.
No.
Well, now you're not sanctioned. You can't be here.
Well, that's all right. They weren't there, so I had to go try to find somebody to
In the
to
media
get me my
room,
bracelet.
they've kind of upped the ante on the layout.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, they've got like little salted snacks and things on these little trays.
Really?
Yeah, and then the food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they're like, listen, we've been trying to fatten you people up for years. Now we want to get your blood pressure up so we can just kill you off.
Well,
We fatten you up, and now we're going to salt you up.
There is a very.
Is that what you're thinking is
you
the
need
plan?
to ask Matt Derrick next time he's on. There's a pot going with a lot of these guys to keep themselves from eating dessert. They've all like thrown $100 in the pot, and if anyone blows it and has a cupcake, then they have to. The other guys get the money. So they're kind of holding each other accountable up there. Now,
Wait. So
there's a
everybody's
real-
in 100, and they're going to split it amongst everybody else.
Well, there's
One
only
guy-
a few guys. Only a few guys. Not everyone's in on this game.
Got to be the last one standing,
the guys
right?
with the sweet teeth are in it to try to keep themselves from eating it. But there's a little bit of debate on what is dessert, what's a treat, what's whatever. Anyway, Matt Derrick can explain it to you if you ask him.
All right. Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, good to know.
I said I would get in, but I'm just not up there enough to really tip myself.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I try to not eat sugar, and I'm not there that often. So.
I said no to the cupcakes yesterday.
Oh, look at you, Todd.
I said no.
We're going to play the feud. We need a contestant. That contestant has a name. His name is Steve. Steve, thanks for joining us today. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, buddy. I've been trying to get in on this show for years.
There you go.
You're a winner already.
You're a winner. You're going to get a $25 gift card to Nick and Jake's. They're great made from scratch menu. TVs everywhere. Great food, honest drink. It is absolutely a fact. It's celebrating 25 years last week over here at the Overland Park location. The desserts, speaking of desserts, carrot cake, phenomenal. Key lime pie, phenomenal.
I will break the fast for that.
Oh, they're so good. Kevin Timmons and the group, Jen Timmons, they're unbelievable. Great people. Talk about giving back to Kansas City. They do that as well. Over there, some great families running some great restaurants here in Kansas City. Steve, you get 25 just for playing. We'll make it 40 if you can win, but you got to figure out who you're going to play with. You're going to play with Kurtis? You're going to play with Todd? You're going to play with me?
Soren, I've been listening to you for years. I love all of you. Soren.
There you go. There you go.
The maestro here.
It's going to be me and Steve.
Who's going first?
You want to go? Well, who's going first for you?
Well,
let
you
Steve
say who's going first.
No, who's going first?
Who's going first, Curtis?
You can go first.
I'm going first.
Okay, it's going to be Lebo first for them, and then Kurtis. So you pick your poison. You want to go up against Lebo, or you want to go up against Kurtis?
Okay, who's going first?
Lebo, you just tell me who you want to go up against. Lebo or Kurtis? Lebo's going first, Kurtis is going second.
Oh, Jiminy, now you make me feel like picking a kid.
No, you pick Kurtis because he's the slowest on the draw ever.
You're going to get the jump every time.
I mean, unless you're like, you just want me to freight train Kurtis and take your chances. Okay,
cool.
Go up against Kurtis. All right.
Good
All
move.
right, so it's going to be me against Lebo, and then it's going to be Steve against Kurtis. Kyle, we're ready to play.
All right, I got 7 answers on the board. Give me Todd. Give me Soren. Name someone in the 2015 Royals playoff bullpen.
Petro.
Soren?
I'm going to go with Wade Davis.
Wade Davis, number 1.
Damn
That's right. We got to play, right, Steve?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, Jiminy. But 2015 bullpen. Oh, Petro. Gosh dang it. I can see him.
Mm-hmm.
The relief pitcher was Cincinnati. Sorry, Soren, I'm bad.
That's all right.
Right now.
That's all right.
Buzzing.
What did you get in charge?
Steve Reich 1.
Give Steve time to think.
Okay, so I went with Davis. You remember what they had?
Yeah, what are you doing here?
Do you remember what they had for what they called the back end? Okay, Steve, just keep that in mind. I went with Davis. They had a name for the back end. I'm gonna take Hochaver this time. Leave you the
3.
easier one.
I'm seeing faces. I'm not thinking that.
Yeah, I know.
It's harder once you get on the radio.
It is harder. It is harder. There's no doubt. The pressure. I mean, trust me. Like the pressure cooker. That is our job every day. Walking through those doors.
Faces. Oh, sorry, brother.
You got one?
No.
Strike 2.
Sorry.
All right. Well, that's all right. We're at least gonna get HDH was what I was hinting at. I didn't want Todd to lose his mind if I said HDH. So we're gonna go ahead and take Kelvin Herrera off the board.
Number 2.
What number was Hoach?
Number 3.
All right. So we've taken 1, 2, 3 off the board. So at least there's going to be some that were in there that aren't going to be. How many answers?
7.
7. Okay.
guess
So they
now
could
I'm
get this
serious.
wrong. Back to you.
Go ahead, Steve. Final chance.
Got anything?
No, and I watched
all right.
everything with them.
That's all right. That's all right. Where are you guys going to go? They could get it wrong. We left so many out there that there's a lot of long. There's a lot. There's 7 other guys.
In the
could
playoffs,
have been a goat, Ryan Madsen gave it the bomb to.
I mean, the 2015
Chris
didn't
Young.
say just playoffs. I mean, Holland was on the team for almost the whole year, so he is the H of the original HDH. Madsen, Chris Young.
I
mean, Danny Duffy actually got a
Danny
win.
Duffy, Chris Medlin.
Chris Medlin.
So,
Medlin.
but Madsen might be.
I mean, I think there's no way Holland's not on the list. He got hurt in August. He pitched all year.
Yeah, that's
August is not all year.
Do you remember the question?
Oh, did it say postseason?
Oh, what are you doing?
Chris Young then.
Whose
Chris Young
side
or
are you
Ryan
on?
Madsen? Either one.
Why do you hate Steve?
I don't hate Steve.
He sit there and let you basically say HDH.
I did not. I said there was an
Right.
acronym. That's all. I just tried to get him to think of it.
Totally. Yeah.
You want Ryan Madsen or Chris Young? What do you like?
I first like Madsen, but I'm not so sure.
Oh, he's on
What do
the
you think?
list.
Yeah. Let's
Listen, could you stop?
Madsen.
You know he doesn't want to decide.
Okay.
Ryan
Ryan
Madsen, number 4 on the list.
Okay.
That is going to be
70 or so. 80?
That's 80 points.
Yeah. I was
So
gonna say-
Chris Young on the list?
No,
The ones you missed: number 5, Danny Duffy; 6, Chris Young; 7, Franklin Morales.
Yeah, I knew Holland wasn't going to be there
Morales,
because
yeah.
he didn't finish on it,
Yeah.
and it was playoff, right?
Playoff bullpen.
Yeah.
That's
I was
right.
going to have him repeat it. It's all right. Don't be sour about
Shut
this.
your mouth.
Don't be sour.
Shut your mouth, Todd. No one likes you.
No.
All right, give me Curtis and give me Steve.
All right.
Hope you're ready for this action.
Wait a
7
minute,
answers.
wait a minute,
Well,
Steve.
probably
Steve,
not.
can we test your buzzer, Steve?
Oh, yeah.
Steve,
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
We're gonna make a
Hey,
champ.
Curtis.
Works
All right,
better
give me
than mine.
Curtis. Give me Steve. 7 answers on the board.
We've never actually tested Curtis's button.
No.
7 answers on the board. Name me a team in the MAC.
Curtis.
Curtis.
Central Michigan.
Central Michigan, number 5 on the list. Steve, can you beat him?
A MAC team, a
Mark.
Mid-American Conference team.
Marshall,
Used to be.
They used
Marshall,
to be.
not on the list.
Okay, we just got to think about stealing.
We playing this?
Yeah.
Let's go with Miami of Ohio.
Number 2.
How many are there?
7 total.
Probably 25, but yes. 7 for this.
I'll say
What did Curtis say?
Central Michigan.
Central Michigan.
I'll say Western Michigan.
Number 1. They won the
West-
league
oh,
last
yeah.
year.
Western Michigan was number 1.
Wow.
Toledo.
Toledo, number 3.
That's what I thought would be number 1 would be Toledo.
Ohio U.
Ohio, number 4.
The Fighting Frank Soliches. Akron.
Akron, number 6.
Oh boy.
Now we're getting.
Now we're supposed to get dry.
Now I'm going to name something that's not in there anymore.
You got 1 strike on the board.
Southern Illinois. No.
Strike 2.
They may have just left.
Yeah. Dang it.
They were there, though.
Let's try Eastern Michigan.
Did make it. Looking for
Ooh.
the 7th and final. Over to Soren and Steve.
All right, what
Did
do
we
we?
3 strikes?
Yeah, that was 3.
Or was it?
Yeah. What do we got so far?
Number 1, Western Michigan. 2, Miami, Ohio. Number 3, Toledo. Number 4, Ohio. 5, Central Michigan. 6, Akron.
All right, what do you got, Steve? I don't want to take any of your thunder. I've only got 1 written down now.
okay, I'm just little things that are popping up.
Okay.
Moorhead wouldn't be in there.
No, Moorhead's not in there. I'll tell you the one I've got. I've got Buffalo. Buffalo's won the league a couple of times. It's where Lance Leipold came from. I think they weren't
It's where
in it
Turner
originally.
Gill came from.
Well, I'm sorry, where Turner Gill came from.
Gonna recruit.
So I think Buffalo. Some Kansas fans would say Buffalo.
And they're all up in the Northeast.
Well, they're all in the Ohio, Michigan area. I'm trying to
There.
think if I'm missing what I might be missing
Ooh,
along.
I got another one, I think.
I know I'm missing something because there's more teams. But I think Buffalo, being a league winner, should be there. So I would go there. You want to do that?
I've years ago I bet on them. So
Okay, there it is. We'll bet on them again. Buffalo.
Oh, wow.
Win the league.
I was so regretting not saying Buffalo. I thought
Did
that's
not
going to
make
be
it.
on
That's-
Bowling Green's there.
That's
Oh.
going to be 95 points. Over to Todd and Curtis.
Bowling
Green, the one you missed.
Oh, God.
Wow.
How many?
95.
95.
Add that to the 80.
That's all right.
We're
Don't-
not there. We're
Don't
not
call
there.
it a
Not there,
comeback.
not there. Yeah.
You can't have a comeback without being down.
Okay.
All right, we're back to Todd and Soren. 7 answers on the board. Name me a stadium. Yes, name a stadium that has hosted the Army-Navy.
Petro.
I think that was Todd.
Oh, I got him. Lincoln Financial, Philadelphia.
Number 1.
Damn it.
I'll say Veteran Stadium.
Number 3.
They've played it in the Raven Stadium, Baltimore, whatever you call that thing now, M&T Bank.
Nailed it. Number 4.
While we're talking about Philadelphia, I'll say JFK Stadium.
Number 2.
All right, so
Wait. JFK was
that's
the
gone. Yeah, that's the original.
that was the Old?
Yeah,
Mhm.
the old.
Before the vet.
Mm-hmm. Where they did Live Aid. He's still standing in 1985. So how many were there total?
7 total. The first 4 you have knocked off the board.
What have they knocked off?
Lincoln Financial, JFK, Veterans Stadium, M&T Bank.
So the 3 in Philly and the 1 in Baltimore. Okay, so I know they did this. They were planning on doing it in New York at the Meadowlands. Do you want me to tell you the MetLife or the East Rutherford Giants Stadium, whatever that's
I
called?
need one answer, Todd.
I know they were planning on doing it, and then COVID wiped the game out. They were doing the 20th anniversary of 9/11, and we didn't get to go to that, Soren. And that was planned in New York City. So I'm going to say MetLife.
MetLife.
I took myself there.
I think they did MetLife in like 2021.
Yeah.
Well, I might as well go with the only other stadium the Eagles have ever played in and say Franklin Field. Nope.
They have played at the arcade, did not make the list.
Okay.
Strike 1. 6 and 7 left on the
That's
board.
only strike 1?
Yeah. We were really hot for a second. So I think they played this, since you got tricky with me before, I think they played it at the old Giant Stadium before.
The Meadowlands. Yes, sir. Number 7.
Bastard.
Looking for the 6th answer.
Well, I'm out of Philadelphia places. Did they play it at Baltimore or they played at RFK? No.
Strike 2.
Okay.
Dang it.
Let's try this. The Polo Grounds. Dang it!
They have played it there.
Okay.
Good guess.
I was right.
Okay, so I have basically Yankee Stadium in Foxborough, but I don't know if I've got to come up with exactly what the Foxborough.
It sounds like what he's
Gillette.
making us
It's
do.
Gillette. That's what it is. Gillette.
He's getting very detailed back here.
I think I Gillette. I'm just throwing out there because they kind of started traveling around the whole Northeast with it. So I'm thinking Gillette, but I'm pretty sure they would have played in like Yankee Stadium back in the day. For sure, like olden times, but I don't know if people, and they might even have swung through Yankee Stadium recently with one.
No, they haven't. That game's too good for that dump.
Are you trying to talk me out of this?
No, I'm just trying to help you. I don't think they played in the new Yankee Stadium. They haven't done that in a while.
Okay.
I mean, they very
All
well
right.
could have played in Yankee
The
Stadium.
old Yankee Stadium.
I mean, they played the Polo Grounds, and I got to strike.
Yeah. Man, I'm just trying to think of what other stadiums, because we've hit Philly, New York, New Jersey,
Baltimore.
There's been a lot of places.
DC. Did we hit DC in one of them?
We
DC.
tried one DC RFK.
played
I can't
RFK.
believe RFK never.
What's
hosted
the
it.
new? What's the new DC stadium?
Well, it's got a different. It was something, and now it's got another name.
Well, what is it? If I just say the current DC stadium, is that good enough
You have to ask the teacher back here.
to keep Steve in the game? Is that good enough?
I think it's FedEx.
What's your
Field.
answer?
Hey, in
Is it still FedEx
I
Field?
was just thinking, and
Yeah,
maybe
go ahead.
it's too old. Is Soldier Field?
They
I
may
don't-
have played it there. I don't
They
know.
may have. It's an old stadium, but I don't know. I think they kind of keep it
It's
around.
not big enough. I like Gillette Stadium.
Gillette, I just don't know if they've gone through there.
Okay, they've already led you down the path.
But
About
don't you think
the
they-
name, you need?
Don't
What
you
about
think
the name for the new RFK?
FedEx
What's the name?
FedEx Field
Yeah.
is the new DC one? I don't know. I leave it to you, Steve. I mean, I don't.
Well, I would think in Washington.
They've
that's
gone
where
through
you
there at some
play
point.
it.
You want to do it? You want to
Yeah.
do FedEx?
Let's do it.
We'll go FedEx. Oh,
crud!
I hadn't even got it out of my mouth. I was going to say let's do Foxborough.
They have played it there.
Yes.
Foxborough's your answer?
Yeah. As Yankee Stadium is what I
That
meant.
is 95 points over to Todd and Curtis.
Count that up.
The only time they've played
Did they play the Rose
west
Bowl once
of the
or something?
Mississippi River, the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
The
I
Rose
had that written
Bowl.
down. So someone answered that. And actually got it.
1983.
Somebody actually
Yeah.
answered the Rose Bowl.
1983. Several people did, yeah.
I had that written down. I didn't have it.
Oh, man, I failed you, Steve. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't.
I'm sorry.
Don't
I should have done
apologize
better
to
than
me.
that. Pete's talked about that Rose Bowl game too,
Yeah.
so I should have gotten that.
But you were right on where they played. I mean, they played
Yeah.
there.
At least I do feel good about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Did they ever play in Boston?
Yeah,
I think
Gillette,
they have.
yeah.
Yeah,
once,
Gillette. Okay. Steve, you do get a $25 gift certificate to Nick and Jake, so you can go ahead and eat on us or drink on us, whatever you feel like. We appreciate you playing, buddy, and enjoy your time at Nick and Jake's.
Okay, thank you guys very much.
All right, you bet.
Did you see all the things, speaking of naming stadiums, that the release today that they're taking GEHA off?
Geha Field
It's
is
off.
no more.
But they're still. How does this work if you've
I don't
reached
know.
this big agreement
Yeah.
and you're still a sponsor?
Well,
Did they just take all the signs off for the World Cup and they're like, who's paying to put them back up?
Arrowhead
Yeah.
Stadium has a Twitter account.
Yes.
And it says, beginning with the 2026 season, our stadium will once again be known simply as Arrowhead. We're incredibly grateful for our partners at GEHA for their continued support and decision to help us celebrate the legacy of our iconic stadium alongside Chiefs Kingdom.
The release that went with that said it was a mutual decision.
In other words, they're not paying the number we want them to pay anymore.
Yeah.
So I
Can
remember.
I translate
They say,
that?
hey, we'll put that back up, but you got to pony up some more cash.
I
And they
went back and
No, we're
looked.
fine.
I remember going to the press conference out at GEHA. Like they had it at the headquarters out there, and it was a big to do. They had all their muckety mucks out there. It was hotter than whatever. And I ran out there real quick after work one day. It was a Friday afternoon, and they had Patrick out there and all that. And that was 2019. They didn't actually put the name on the stadium till the whole next year. So, but there's nothing in the initial release from way back then on how long anything was going to be up there. But this smells like, hey, they had to take all these signs down. What are we going to do about this? We got to put them back up or what? FIFA came in and took them down, and I don't know. It's weird.
I think it probably coincided with their contract. I mean, you mentioned when it was. The contract probably ran a year, and this is probably about the time you ran out there, and the contract has expired, and they worked on it. And they
Weird
said
thing,
that
it
they
was
would
19.
remain.
It was like 7 years ago.
They said they would remain a partner,
Yeah.
but it's clear that they're just not willing to. Listen, maybe as simple as this ain't going to be your home anymore. We'll wait and save our war chest, and we'll bid on going on the new stadium.
And it may have been as simple as nobody ever says it right. I'm not sure this is good for us.
Yeah.
I actually think the fact that no one says it right
It's not bad, yeah.
and then they
Google it.
complain about it,
Yeah.
actually just gives them more sway. I think it's a smart marketing plan. Like when people call it GEHA, to be like, no, it's GEHA.
My guess is
Because then people go, oh, GEHA, because that makes people say it even more. Where normally you'd be like, whatever.
You know, the little mic flags on the podium. I bet those will still say that and all that stuff. It's just not going to be on the stadium itself. So they're going to still be GEHA stuff all around the stadium in different ways, but it's just not going to be on the stadium.
Have you seen what's on the podium at training camp?
It's Burns and Mac. They got their deal up there now. They had that in the interview room for a long time, and they finally said, well, let's just have something besides this stupid little stick and tray that was up there before.
Do you think that could be the new stadium?
That would be interesting
Name?
because they are not – that would be some pretty good pool because they are not involved in designing the stadium or the infrastructure. That would be pretty good if everyone else did the work and you go throw your name on it.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think so.
Nice work if you can get it.
Todd Lebo's here. He's brought to you by our friends at Family Leisure. K10 and Ridgeview, online at familyleisure.com. They're doing their big floor sale going on right now, so get out there. Mention A10.
You can buy a floor?
save even more. No, everything that's on the floor.
Okay.
Nobody likes a smart ass, Todd. No, nobody likes a smart ass.
Hey, don't be mad about losing. You guys almost scored.
I am mad about losing. You can't talk me off that ledge. There's no way around that. I don't like losing on that. The Dog Days of Summer sale going on right now. Pools, hot tubs, spas. You can take advantage of some great patio furniture. I know. This past weekend, I was sitting on my brand new patio furniture from Family Leisure. Whether it's a massage chair, I still dream about my massage chair. Whether it's a grill, poker table, pool table, it's where family and fun come together right there at K10 and Ridgeview. Tell them the program sent you. Tell them A10 sent you. Get special discounts at Family Leisure. Todd Lebo's brought to you by our friends at Family Leisure. They are at K10 in Ridgeview. Go see them today. Don't waste any more time. Big sale going on. Take advantage of it, whether it's a fire pit, a bar, a grill. Maybe it's a sauna. That's right. You need a sauna.
I've already got one, but I love it. I highly suggest it. If you're looking for a sauna, get one.
Yeah. You like it?
Yeah. They've
Okay.
got traditional ones and infrared out there.
Yep. Okay. I'll
Both
take
kind.
it. I'll take it. Go see them. Mention the A10. You can save even more. Locally owned and operated for more than a quarter century. Dennis, DJ, they got you covered out there. They're great to work with. I know. I'm pretty sure my wife and daughter sat in every
All of them.
piece of patio furniture
Gotta
that was
try
on the
'em all.
showroom floor.
You can't just sit in for 2 seconds.
We found the right ones.
You're going to sit in there for hours.
Delivered it up a few days later. It was fantastic. So thank you to our friends over at Family Leisure. Go see them today. It's where family and fun come together. Thinking about game day theater seating. Think about some theater seating to watch your Chiefs football coming up this fall. They got the theater seating at Family Leisure. We have Todd Lebo in here. Time for a little Lebo sounds. Going to hear a little Trent McDuffie, huh?
Yeah, former Chief Trent McDuffie, he was on a podcast, and they spent some time talking about leaving the Chiefs and all that. So he told a story about how he, it was a little bit after the combine, not much was going on. He started getting all these alerts on his Apple Watch, and he turned it off because he was like trying to work out, and then finally his fiance and his mom came in and said, hey, you got traded. And so that's how the whole thing started. And then it got into like just kind of the nuts and bolts about it and kind of his feelings about it. So I want to play this first chunk here. The questions are from Taylor Lewan, the former offensive lineman for the Titans. He's got a podcast. And so he's the other person talking, but Trent McDuffie talking about how kind of odd it was to not be a Chief anymore.
Yeah, it was surreal. And, like, knowing that it was L.A., like, for sure, I mean, Sean called me, all these people call me, but it was definitely, obviously, I'm expected to go back to the Chiefs. So a little part of me was just like, damn, bro, like, what's up with that? Like, you didn't let me know anything. I didn't have any conversation about nothing. It was just like, bye, pretty much. Like,
and this whole time you're booking the trip, you're getting a workout in, and you're like, oh, I'm going to be a Chief next
literally.
year. And out of nowhere they do that, which is like, you've heard a couple of guys say that, not just about the Chiefs, but multiple. That happens all the time to guys.
Yeah.
What your initial reaction, I'm assuming, is anger before you find out where you're going.
Yeah.
So you have anger. How quickly did it turn to like Matthew Stafford? Puka,
I mean, honestly,
all
pretty
these
fast.
guys?
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Because I'm also one of those guys where it's like, I can't hold on to the past. Like,
Mhm.
this happened. It happened. Like, let's just move on as fast as I can. And honestly, having that conversation with Sean McVay and then our DB coach, Jimmy Lake, was my DB coach at Washington. So, like, there was automatically, like, relationship there. Just talking to both of them, too, out the gate, just already was just calming.
So it's a little bit interesting in there. I don't know.
Well, what's your reaction to that?
Well, there was never any talk about a contract. I don't believe that. I think the contract stuff was probably with the agent.
That's the obvious part right there when he's saying he didn't know, he didn't have any idea. Then, listen, there is a world where the Rams call up and go, we know you guys got cap issues. We know you got to pay this guy. We're interested. What would the compensation be? Because we're willing to go right around here. Yeah, that's a good fit. That's where we're at. Well, we want to get the contract done. And they call the agent and go, we're not going to screw around. Here's the biggest cornerback contract that's out there. We're going to go this. This is a take it or leave it. We've got our offer on the table. The Chiefs are ready to do it. Do you want it, yes or no? The Chiefs have said if you say yes, that you'll take the contract, then it's a done deal. There is a world where that exists, and it could get done that quick. And it could get done before he knows it, right? Without him being in touch.
And he has generally been someone who doesn't, he's always told us at least, he just leaves it to his agent and he just goes and plays football. That's what he's always said.
But the idea that if you had no idea you could be traded, because I spent the entire year last year. In fact, I said trade him in training this time last year.
Because they weren't close on whatever conversations there had ever been.
Well, they had conversations. It was confirmed that they had conversations. I confirmed it. I can't remember if it was public or not, but I know I confirmed it, and it may have been public. I don't know.
Close.
I'm not saying I broke a story or anything. I just know. And I remember asking him, well, this is when guys get paid. Other corners got paid. Are you where are you right now? Sauce Gardner just got a big deal. You're in the same draft class. Like, where are you at on this? I let my agent handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, if you are not aware that you can be traded, you're a dunce.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. He's not a dunce.
No.
He's a really smart guy, and I love talking to him. But I also find it hard to believe. I laid out that scenario where the agent could be like, "Okay, we're going to do it," and then the Rams call back and say, "Okay, we're going to do it." The agent's just got to confirm with his client that it's going to be okay, but you got a done deal, and then word spreads like wildfire from there. But I doubt that. To me, if there's any frustration here, it should be with his agent,
Right.
because his agent is undoubtedly the guy who leaked it. I remember I confirmed it, but it was out there before that. And so if you're like this after the fact hurt feeling thing,
Well,
is disingenuous at best.
And some of it, like where like the word "you were angry," that was Taylor Lewan talking.
Yeah.
Not
He was
him.
kind
So
of pushing him in that
led him
direction,
that
too.
way.
But
He
pushing an
did
open
say,
door.
I mean, he was like, "Hey man, I didn't know he was kind of blindsided by this thing." That's on his agent, and that's on him too. You can't just leave it all to your agent and say this. You have to kind of have some control your own agency. You know what I mean?
I don't.
What's going on.
Nobody. The agent is legally responsible to come ask you questions on certain things. He cannot just agree to it. It's not done unless you agree to it and you sign it. So that's just he can't do that.
Yeah.
Like there are laws to how lawyers have to operate. Well, usually,
Yeah.
I don't know, things are changing, but there are the ways you're supposed to do things, and it's just disappointing to hear him. It's almost like he got dragged into this, like, fight. He said this about you. They said this about you. And he got dragged into a situation like it seemed like a very amicable parting of ways. I want to get paid. We don't have the money, but we sent you to the place you want to go to.
And he's not someone who, like he's not a big tweeting things out guy, like complaining about things. He didn't go off and have his own podcast like Tyreek Hill did after he got traded and, say things that were inflammatory. And this isn't super inflammatory. It's just an insight into how someone was feeling, because he's not going to talk to anyone around here. He has no reason to, right? We'll see him. They're going to play him a couple times, right? Got him in the preseason and in the regular season. But I want to play one more bit. And this is, you were up at camp today. Camp in St. Joe is the same as camp was last year in St. Joe and the year before. The Chiefs have a way to do things. And Trent McDuffie's entire NFL career has been the Chiefs' way of doing things. And now he is somewhere where it's a little bit different. And you can kind of feel that the way it is now for him is going to take a little bit of adjusting. And I think it's adjustment. He's enjoying at this point.
Everything about it was so different to me.
Mm-hmm.
But then you come in and you go to the OTAs and you hear Sean, and like, honestly, this team is so fun. Like, they're young, they're hungry. Like, you can just tell there's just like this attention to just wanting to get better. Like that Sean McVay, like how he runs his program, that like I've seen it really work. Like these guys believe, they bought in, and honestly, bro, I'm having so much fun. Like, I feel like I got that spirit back, like that swagger back they talk about. Like, I'm in LA. I'm with guys who make this fun. Like, I can't wait for the season.
So what's your what do you think?
If you
it wasn't, I mean, the losing's not fun.
No, it's not. And he only lost once. Like, really had one bad season here. But it can sour quick on you, right? Did he forget the parades and all that bit? So if you want to be an angry, sour Chiefs fan, you'll go, come on, bro. Andy's way works. Sean McVay's not in every Super Bowl out there or whatever, but it is probably a much different feel because he's from out there. He's happy to be home-ish, right? I don't know if he's born right next to SoFi or something. It's a big area out there, but he is a Southern California guy, and he's got to be very happy to be back out there. But yeah, you're having fun. I mean, camp's not supposed to be fun. OTAs aren't supposed to be fun. So I don't know, but it's just I got to be honest. I mean, and I'm completely open to somebody being like, "You're just a hurt Chiefs fan." Okay, I mean, I'd listen to that, but I now come away like, is he a fake? Because I don't think the Chiefs. I thought they treated him really well. Yeah.
When they traded him, I don't know that they had anywhere else they could have traded him.
And they offered him the fifth year, right? I mean, he got that.
Yeah, no, that was locked in.
Yeah, they didn't do anything.
But they sent him to the Los Angeles Rams, and he got
home.
paid.
Yeah.
And like it's a business.
He doesn't sound super sour, but sometimes when you're excited about something new, it makes you sound sour about.
Well, I think when you're trying, it makes me wonder if there's just a hint of fake, fakeism there, because like, I'm just trying really hard to talk about how much it's even better here with the Rams, because I'm in LA now, which is smart politics.
Mm-hmm.
Play to the audience you got, but
and McVay seems like it would be a really fun guy to play for. He seems to be like that kind of guy, right? The Rams are a very good franchise he's taken to 2 Super Bowls, right? 1-1. He's very close to going a couple more times. So he's pretty blessed, really, to have gotten to play in Kansas City and then gets to go home, get paid a whole bunch of money, and play for a team that's one of the top favorites to make the Super Bowl, right? The Rams are up in that branch. So I can see how Chiefs fans don't like it, though.
Yeah.
Don't like to talk.
I mean, I won't lose any sleep over it, but I'm just like, I don't know. I thought the Chiefs were pretty good with him. I think Andy Reid is definitely known as a player's coach. I mean, I think he always defends his, but I just don't know where you'd have a reason to get sideways and why you'd be pissed to be traded to the team that was the better team last year. To their point, there's Matt Stafford there. You didn't get traded to the
Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, or even like you're an LA kid and you get traded to Minneapolis or something, and you get to spend all winter in Minneapolis, like
Cleveland.
I don't. Yeah.
He's not. I don't think he's super sour. He was just kind of talking, but you can take it that way, though.
But I also just kind of the line of question. Those are 2 ex-NFL guys. Like, that's how they did you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Taylor Lewan, he was pushing him a little bit. He was pushing an open door, but he was kind of going. But I mean, you're mad, aren't you?
Like you're
angry,
mad, right?
You're angry.
Yeah,
First, I was angry.
Well, Lewan's partner Will Compton loves to get a rise out of Chiefs fans too.
Sure, that's his.
Oh, is that what it is?
Now I didn't see. I don't know if he was on. He was not talking on the clip that was there. It was just Lewan, and it wasn't in their normal little bus that they do it in. It was somewhere. I don't know if they're taking the show on the road. It looked like an apartment or something. It was a weird looking thing, but anyway,
I've heard little bits of that. But what's the hook on that thing?
A couple of ex pro players talking ball.
Was that it?
Yeah.
I think they're intertwined with Barstool Sports.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Now. Are they out now? I can't remember.
They used to be
because
Barstool guys for sure.
And I know there's a loyal following there, but like when I've heard them, like they gave him like 2 weeks, like filling in on being like analysts, and I was like, okay, what's the juice here? What am I missing?
Yeah. Anyway, that's Trent McDuffie.
All right.
So be mad or not, however you want to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Choose to be happy or sad, whatever you want to choose it.
Sounds good. We'll take a break. More with Todd Lebo. Todd Lebo's appearance here, always brought to you by our friends at Family Leisure. One of my favorite places on earth, more than 25 years locally owned and operated. They are great when it comes to bringing family and fun together. Check it out right now. Saunas, hot tubs, pools, spas. Still lots of warm weather to enjoy. Get that patio furniture. The fall will be here soon. Maybe you need that theater seating, the game tables. If you're getting ready for those big Sunday afternoons, having the whole family over to watch the game, get to Family Leisure first. K10 at Ridgeview. Mention 810, save even more.
The program with Soren Petro.
One's got a huge long one and one's got the regular size one. The great big long was too much.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Listen, I'm no plumbing expert. I've proven that time and time again. Like the Saturday I threw away going back and forth to the hardware store, I think I eventually got the toilet fixed. You know what? I had basically the same problem. Toilet wouldn't stop running. They're a little bit different now than when I tried to fix mine 6 or 7 years ago. They don't have the same mechanisms. Anyway, I didn't even bother. I didn't even open the lid. My wife's like, the toilet upstairs is running. I'm like, okay. Well, she's, what do you want to do? Wondering if I was going to take another stab at it. No. I said, call the plumbing pro. Let's just go. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. They'll take care of it. They're the experts. Sewer, septic, drain installation, repair, that main line coming into your house. If it doesn't flush, if you can't shower, if you can't do the load of laundry, if the water's not hot, the Plumbing Pro is the one to call. The one to know is the Plumbing Pro. Serving Kansas City since 1980, Coach Steve and his crew have been here, solving plumbing problems for both home and commercial plumbing problems since almost, 50 years we're talking about now? Since 1980, and they still live here. That's one of the things that sets them apart. You'll find a lot of different names of companies that you're like, oh, yeah, I've heard of that place. They've been around for a while. Yeah, the name has, but the company's totally different. It's now an out-of-town company, and it's just a numbers game. Not with the Plumbing Pro. They're true Kansas City people that want to make sure that everything works perfectly for you. Their customer service is great, and their plumbing, nobody's better. So call 816-763-8200. And if you don't have a plumbing problem right now, no problem. Put this in your phone so that when you do, you're ready to go. It's the Plumbing Pro, right? 816-763-8200. You can find them online. Remember, theplumbingpro.com. That's theplumbingpro.com. Remember, the one to know is the Plumbing Pro.
Hi, guys. This is the Rocket Roger Clemens. You don't pitch in the majors for 24 years without feeling it later. Shoulders, elbows, knees. Trust me, pain doesn't retire when you do.
That's baseball legend Roger Clemens.
I tried the ice. I tried rest, PT. Nothing really worked. When I heard about QC Kinetics, the concept sounded promising. Non-surgical regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself without surgery. Sign me up. Just what I needed. Real lasting relief.
Whether you're a former pro, a weekend golfer, or just want to walk around pain-free again, QC Kinetics uses
All right, the Twin Peaks, end of the hour answer. Bob, 3 hits last night in his return. Among active players, who has the most career 3-hit games?
How about that? Arias.
Luis Arias.
He is 15th.
Oh, he's old enough.
He's
15th with 100.
Oh, you got to get an old active
Yelich
player.
is old.
Yelich is
Aaron Judge old enough?
10th?
No,
9th?
He's not old enough. Jose Altuve.
Jose
Joe
Altuve.
Yeah, he's
There you
old.
go.
224. Only other player with active player with 200. Freddie Freeman.
Okay.
He's old too.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it works.
They're old and good.
Paul Goldschmidt, Xander Bogaerts, Manny Machado, the rest of the top 5.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you have it. Jose Altuve has been a good player.
Not bad.
Not bad for it.
Remember when we thought
$20,000 or
Royals
whatever
should
they gave him?
go after him, and people, they're like, we're not trading him.
Yeah.
They knew.
Todd, camp today.
Yeah.
I talk a little kicking.
Yeah. Harrison Butker was at the podium today.
All 3 of them are open, by the way.
Ready to rock and roll. And, his year last year was fine. Not exceptional. Not great, right?
It was disappointing by his standards.
By his standards, for sure. He was asked what he's been working on so far in camp.
With kickers, it's really easy for us to just kick a bunch of footballs all the time, But in a game, what a kicker's asked to do is kind of be able to execute one kick every maybe 15, 20 minutes, right? Because you kick when the offense stalls their drive or after they score a touchdown, obviously you have the extra point. Then the defense goes out there for a whole drive and the offense is back out there, and then boom, you got to go. So I think I've been trying to gain confidence of waiting 15, 20 minutes, and then got to have a field goal. It matters, kicking it with James and Matt, and then however well I do, that's the end result. So in the past, it's easy for practice. You kick a bunch of balls right before the field goal period. You kick great, and then you're kind of done for the rest of the day. But I'm trying to take advantage of these longer practices, treat it like a game, and do what I'm going to be asked to do in a game, which is just one kick every 20 minutes or so.
Interesting. I mean, he thinks a lot about his craft.
He's also the only guy who can say, I'm kicking it with James and so-and-so, and actually he means kicking,
He's
not just hanging out.
He's hanging out with James.
I'm just kicking it.
Just kicking it. So it's interesting that he's thought that part of it through. I guess that's why they go over there and they kick into the nets and try to get themselves warmed up and try to make the game be like practice. So you asked him a little bit about his mechanics, because that's certainly something that's been changing over the last couple of years.
So last year, I wasn't dropping down onto that plant foot knee, but I was having to think about it a lot, especially during training camp. And now I don't have to focus on that. So I'm hoping I can focus on things that matter more, smooth swing thoughts. And I think that's been helpful for me to keep it simple and just focus on good ball contact instead of just really focusing in on not dropping down to that knee. I can focus on stuff that probably matters more.
Thinking about focusing, how much you kind of, the new kickoff rules, it's almost like a pitcher happening where 3 or 4 new pitches all of a sudden. Is it, you got a vibe, you feel good about all the different ways you're going to kick off, and maybe now you can go back to focusing more on the place kicking?
Obviously the place kick and the field goals matter the most, and I think maybe trying to hit those knuckleballs and the funny kickoffs maybe affected the field goals a little bit. So I think halfway through the season last year, I just said, forget the kickoffs, but I'm just going to hit a high hang time ball, good rotation, just focus on the location. I'm not going to try to hit a low line drive knuckleball. And I think that's helped my field goals, because then it's kind of the same foot to ball contact, good foot to ball contact on the field goal, and just do the same thing on the kickoff rather than having like 2 different swings. So that helped me the second half of the season, and I'm kind of sticking with that for training camp in the season.
I thought that was very interesting because, for years before they changed the kickoff rule, these guys were, especially him, it just blasted through. There was just no thought on what a kickoff was. You just went and kicked it because you could kick it to the back, no problems, don't have to worry about anyone returning the ball, and that's it. And then you can get in your own head, especially with someone like him who wants to try so many things to be perfect. It sounds to me like he's admitting that it was kind of messing him up on the field goals.
Yes, I would say that that's accurate. And I think that's what we kind of saw, that, all of a sudden, that's why I mentioned, like, he was being asked to have a number of different pitches. I don't know if you could really hear my question that well there, but I was like, is it kind of like a pitcher? Like you're asked, like, okay, now throw a curve, now throw a knuckle, now throw this, because they were trying to come up with all these new ways to figure out
exploit the rule,
how to get it, how to get the the best way to pin somebody down on these new kickoffs. And I mean, right there, he just admitted, yes, I junked all that. I went back to just getting it high because that's more of the same motion as my field goal. So, last year, we would ask that of Dave Tobe, and he's like, no, I don't think that's it. No, I don't think that's it.
Sounds like it was it.
Sounds like that was it.
Yeah. Now, it may not really have been it, but if he thinks it's it, it's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way it works.
I don't think he's, what's the purpose of coming out here and lying about?
No, but if he just said to himself, I'm just going to do this in the second half, that may not be the reason that his field goals got better, is because he was kicking it off. But if he thinks it was, it's all that matters. Like, dude, if I put this kind of batting glove on, I'm going to hit the ball this day. You know what I mean? I mean, it could not be the exact reason why it was. Like he just started kicking the ball off differently, made his field goals better. Could have been lots of things on that. But this is a guy who is certainly in his head on a lot of these things, which I think can be good and bad with field goal kickers. Because what you don't want to have is a bad swing thought like he was having at times last year. And if he thinks the bad swing thought was because he was trying to kick a knuckleball in the kickoff, it may have been.
Yeah.
Might as well fix it then. Eliminate something, you know?
Yeah, I think I would like to think that you could perfect multiple swings, but I do get it. Like
only so many kicks you have. I mean,
yeah, I mean, like it is a very precise thing, and they're not asked to just kick 27, 28 yarders.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes,
I mean they're expected to go out and knock it through.
A lot of high pressure ones too
from distance.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
yeah.
Anyway, I expect a better year from him, but at some point, you talk about the cap a lot. He's an expensive kicker.
This is already. He's only in year 2 of what, a 3-year deal, I think it was. I think this year might be already kind of like a contract year for him.
Yeah,
that he does need to perform, and he knows what's going to get him paid is the field goals.
Field goals, yeah, for sure. It's not. Oh, look at that knuckleball they kicked.
I'm looking here, the multi-year. Because they just got him signed, didn't they?
In the operation, right? They've already flipped through punters because you're not going to just keep paying the punters all the time. And kicking it with James is fun, but James Winchester is a big-time veteran minimum contract. He's
27. He counts 7.25 versus 2.8 to cut.
Yeah.
So
Makes
big year,
kicks.
big year for Harrison. Yeah. Thank you, Todd. We appreciate it.
All righty.
All right, who was the first Chief to have a 100-yard rushing game in the postseason? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Summer is the perfect time to build your deck, and at Decks and Docks, they urge you to do it right the first time with Fibron decking. Low maintenance, long-lasting beauty, and the rich look of real wood without the upkeep. Go to DecksDocks.com for your closest location. It has been a discussion point for the last 2 seasons, and not because things were going well. The left side of the Chiefs' offensive line. Chiefs drafted Josh Simmons in the first round a year ago. He now lines up next to third-year guard Kingsley Suamataia. Andy Reid said today, it's looking good so far.
Yeah, you can see him communicating. Kingsley does a nice job with that, making sure Josh gets all the calls and everything. And the more they play together, the better it'll be. And they're both very gifted athletically.
Royals go for 2 in a row against the Twins at the K tonight. KC won last night 8-2 behind a 3-hit game from Bobby Witt Jr. in his return from the IL. Noah Cameron against Dean Kramer tonight.
Yes, indeed. Tim Grunhard, brought to you by Coach Bush and the crew at The Plumbing Pro. The one to know, if you've got any kind of plumbing problems, is The Plumbing Pro. Call 816-763-8200. Sewer, septic, drain installation, repair, you name it, they do it. Find them online at theplumbingpro.com, solving plumbing problems in Kansas City since 1980. Tim, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Got a good buddy in town. Took him to the Royals game yesterday. He's very impressed with the K.
Good game to go to.
Beautiful place. He's like, man, I'll tell you what, you guys, I know you're talking about getting a new stadium and everything else, but, walking in from a guy who's been over to the, whatever they guarantee rate or whatever the hell they call Comiskey now or Sox Park, he said, it looks like a dump compared to the K. So should be proud of our complex.
How does the
out
K
there.
compare to Wrigley in his mind? Has he been to Wrigley, or is he just a White Sox fan?
Wrigley is it's in its own little classification. It's just a whole different kind of a deal. It's a bucket list. It's a Wrigley is the mecca. That and Fenway, those two places. I mean, just it's baseball Americana.
It's a different kind of stadium.
So
It's different altogether.
So how does it compare?
I didn't ask.
Okay. Why not?
Because
isn't that the goal, is to be the best?
He was just comparing the two stadiums.
Okay.
Now, if I'll have him during the break here make a list of.
Well, because I think the goal is going to be to create a Wrigley-like experience with the new ballpark. So that's why I'd like to know what.
Well, that's going to take maybe 150 years for that to happen. I would think.
I think I hear what you're saying. Yes, I'm going to a place that everybody tells me is great, but I do think it's a great experience because it's in the neighborhood and because of the rooftops. And
absolutely, downtown stadium is certainly going to give a little bit of juice to it.
That whole corner becomes about the baseball game. Those two corners, that quadrant, if you will, and everything around it becomes about the baseball game, at least on the left field and right field. The outfield, that part.
Right.
Now, if you come down behind home plate, it kind of starts to drift off into other stuff. But that part right there, I think if you're the Royals, that's what you want to create. Like, I'd be putting some buildings that I could, sell to businesses for premium dollars because their office is going to look into the ballpark.
Sure.
I'd want apartment buildings with outdoor terraces that look out. In San Diego, I think it's one of the cool things about Petco is they've got outdoor terraces where there's a guy who sits out there with his Padres sign every game watching from across the street in like the 30th floor or something like that. I think that's what I think is, I'd like to try to recreate that kind of
Would you want to put a hotel in the stadium like Toronto? Where you can open up the drapes and all of a sudden you're looking and watching
Texas,
a game.
I think Texas did.
Does Texas have one too?
Not the one now, but the one before that. The first ballpark at Arlington, I think, had a hotel inside.
I would be open to that. I'd be open to the best ideas from everywhere, and bring it all together.
Well,
you have a blank canvas. There's no excuses for when it gets done. Like, well, we just couldn't do this or that. Do we agree on that?
Yeah. Well, the one thing about Wrigley and the Ricketts family, they bought all that property around there. So now, they put in that Gallagher Way, which is like a green space that people go out there. They have a big screen out there. So if you don't have a ticket for the game, you can sit out there with your kids and they can roll around, bum around doing things and they can watch the game.
And the Cubs are nice enough to offer Cub-priced concessions to be sold even outside the ballpark.
Outside.
So if you want to empty your wallet, even without getting in the ballpark,
if you're that lazy
you
to not go across the 7-Eleven across the street, then you probably deserve to pay for that. But like you said, the hotels they built around there, office buildings, mixed use properties, condos, everything else. You're exactly right, and that's kind of the way, as you guys well know, the way these ownership things are going now. I mean, the ticket sales are great, all that stuff, but it's all the stuff around it that they think that they could, make money off of around the complex, and that's one of the reasons why when the stadium vote was up, the Chiefs, they were not going to stay at the Royal State because they wanted that land at Truman to do all the other, projects to, bring people in, all that kind of stuff. And it just didn't work out. So, but that's what they'll have out of Kansas. They're going to do stuff like that. And we'll see if it works.
For the Chiefs out in Kansas.
Yeah.
The Royals will still be in Missouri. But,
right. Yeah,
but
Chiefs,
moving downtown.
Moving downtown. The Royals, I think at downtown Sam's at a wedding at the old Kansas City Hotel. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
They have a nice view of kind of
very nice place
looking south on their little deck there. It's beautiful. I can't wait to see what a stadium will look like downtown. It's going to be a good thing.
Very good. Tim Grunhardt is here. We're talking stadiums in the program. Why wouldn't we? Chiefs Hall of Fame Center. Let's
architecture.
move on.
I'm a Hall of Fame architect.
How about that retractable roof there in Milwaukee?
Oh, very nice.
On that? Yeah.
Sometimes it gets stuck. You got a little. Everything's ball bearings now.
It's all ball bearings these days. Yeah,
it's all
that's
ball
a good
bearings.
point. That's a good point. Let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, shall we?
Yes.
Camp battles. How many battles do you really think there are?
Well, I talked to a certain coach out there, and we were visiting, and he said, listen, it's been the most competitive camp they've had. He said there's a lot of positions that are up for grabs. Guys are fighting for positions.
Does this coach tell you that every year?
No, he does not.
Okay.
This year he made a point of emphasis of telling me that, hey, very competitive. And one of the things that Marty would talk about all the time in our first couple of meetings is, listen, we got to have a competitive camp. We have the guys fighting for positions, Hey, listen, we all know who the quarterback's going to be. We all know who the center's going to be, the guard. We all know the defensive tackle.
Let me ask you, what position do we not know?
Wide receiver. Who's the number one wide receiver? What the pecking order of the wide receiver is? Who we can trust in the wide receiver room?
I will bet you, barring injury, that I can name the 3 wide receivers that will be on the field when they go 3 wide. Like I know
you're trying to make life difficult for me. I get it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that I have no doubt that that's what they're saying.
But are you trusting that Rashid Rice could be the number one wide receiver?
I wholeheartedly believe there's no other option on the field.
There you go.
So I don't think that's.
So I agree.
I think they got
Rashid Rice, Xavier Worthy, and Thornton will be on the field.
There's this magnetic, pull from down low to his head, where his head ends up down low
in a certain orifice.
And if they can keep that pull from happening, keep his head out of that area, he'll be the number one, because Xavier Worthy is fragile, and Tyquan Thornton's had like 4 years in the league to figure it out, and he had a good 3 games, and the Chiefs went, we don't have better than that. We'll sign him for 2 years. I'm optimistic that there's the ability there in Tyquan Thornton, but I really do think like the biggest threat to Rashee Rice, if I told you you get any one wide receiver to take that will have more receiving yards than Rashee Rice this year, who would you take?
On the Chiefs?
Yes. And Rashee Rice plays.
Nobody.
Okay. Well, but
he's going to be. I have to take one.
I agree, but you
have
to take
one. Is Cyrus Allen healthy?
Yeah, exactly. We'd go to this year's rookie 5th round pick.
Yep.
And I think they're going to give the other 3 the first crack. I don't think any of us believe in Jalen Royals. Yep. I don't think Xavier Worthy can stay healthy. And I'm optimistic about Tyquan Thornton. Like if I was wrong, I would say that he's really just a go route runner.
Exactly. Let's just say he's a specialist. He's kind of a specialty deep ball guy. And that's not going to get you. I mean, you're going to get some big hits. You're going to hit a couple home runs, but you're also going to strike out a bunch.
I just feel like if you can go deep, you ought to be able to like break off a route. But I mean, I'm not a physiologist, so I don't know what makes the human body able
play one on the radio
to break down. I mean, listen. There are some things I can see. I think I've got a decent eye for it. You've
been watching football for a couple of years. Back at Shawnee Mission Park.
Yeah, sure. That's right. That works for you. But but I bring that up because like I think they would say there's a battle. There's not a battle for the number one.
No,
I don't think there's a battle for the 2 and 3. I think Cyrus Allen is there, ready to step in. Just because wide receivers, it does take some time. Like second half of the season, could Cyrus Allen just move somebody out? Yes, I find it hard to believe that he'll move anybody out to start the year because the other two guys know the system. But if Xavier Worthy's hurt, then Cyrus Allen steps in. And I mean, I think the 1, 2, 3, 4 is locked in. And then it's a matter of, do you cut Jalen Royals this quick after being a 4th-round pick after only 1 year? Maybe. Does Nico Remigio's kick return, do you need that? Maybe. I mean, I think there's some discussion, but I don't really think there's a battle. And where I was going,
I don't know if there's a battle. I think it's a pecking order that it has to be established.
Yeah, where I was going to go is like, let's go to your spot. I mean, we know you're magnetically pulled to the offensive line. At some point, we're going to talk about it.
Probably next.
And it's after quarterback. I think the most important part of the team.
Yes.
So, Khalil Benson worked all day today with the ones again, and he's done that almost every day. I mean, and this is kind of like, 2 years ago, Kingsley Suamataia, though we got a competition between Wanya Morris and Kingsley Suamataia at left tackle. No, you didn't. Kingsley Suamataia went out there and he ran with the ones almost the whole time.
Yeah.
And guess who ended up being the left tackle? Kingsley Suamataia. And we're going to have a competition between Wanya Morris and Kingsley Suamataia for the guard spot. And maybe that's what maybe I'm even confusing 2 years ago. Maybe they even outright said Kingsley's going to get it. But there was definitely supposed to be a competition for the guard spot.
Sure.
Kingsley went out there every time. It was his job.
Right.
Like, so is this just them saying things at the podium or even, off to the side, trying to motivate the guys, but in reality, they already know who their 22 is. They know who the backups are. And there's really, the fight is for positions 46 to 53. What's your experience telling you?
My gut says that Jalen Moore is going to get the shot. And and I think Khalil Benson will be quickly in the fray, whether it's from injury or from lack of production. For you guys out there who don't know who Kingsley, or not Kingsley, I'm drawing a blank. Benson, Khalil Benson. Who Khalil Benson is? He's a undrafted free agent out of Colorado,
out of Indiana,
and Indiana. He was, at Indiana, went to Colorado to play for Prime Time, and said it was a crap show and left. Went back to Indiana. He's battling right now. He is getting reps
he was in there all day today. I was up there today. He was the one today.
He's been
no doubt about
he's been dominant in run blocking and full pads. He's done well in his pass protection. So he's a guy that they really, really have the arrow pointed up. I do think it is Jalen Moore's position to lose, but I wouldn't be shocked. And there's one thing we talked about 3 weeks ago was Khalil Benson. He was kind of my unheralded guy that I think is going to really shine on the offensive line. And I think it's a good thing for this team. Once again, that's good. It's good for competition. Jalen Moore and Khalil Benson, those guys fighting for that position, trying to do the best they possibly can to win that position. And to answer your question, I don't think that he has been given that job, Khalil Benson. I think Jalen Moore has the right of first refusal, and if he doesn't live up to it or has any injury problems, then Khalil Benson will be fit in there really quickly. And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody else got hurt that they didn't squeeze him in at either a guard or even at the other side.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm getting at is I don't even know that Jalen Moore gets in there. I mean, the guys, when they've started young players all throughout camp, they've ended up starting the regular season. Yeah. I mean, like if they're going to put Jalen Moore in at right tackle, how far into camp can they go before they're like, okay, we have to get some chemistry over here on the right side?
Yeah. And like I said, and we've talked about this many, many times, reps are money. You only get a certain amount of reps. And if you're going to use those reps on a guy like Khalil Benson, then you had better be ready to put him in there if you have to or if you think that he earned it. And I don't think the Chiefs are afraid to do that. They've shown in the past that they'll play younger guys. Hey, going back to Tim Grunhard and Dave Zott. I mean, we both started as rookies. I know it's a different time and a different place and a different era, but it's still the same thing where, you bring a guy in, I was splitting reps with Mike Webster. Mike Webster really didn't want to play. Frank Winters was splitting reps with Dave Zott. Dave Zott eventually beat out Frank Winters. Frank Winters was a guard / center. And then Dave started, and I started, and they went with it. We had our growing pains, everything else, but you started to build a cohesiveness. And like you said, the communication factor, which is so important on the offensive line, and understanding how a guy reacts or how a guy comes off the football and the combination and when they leave, when they don't leave, what they need, what they don't need in pass protection. All those little things are so important because those 5 guys really is the only unit that have to work as one. And they, from the left tackle to the right tackle, all those guys got to be on the same page. Communication, execution, and understanding how the other guy next to him prepares and gets things done.
Do you so you think Jalen Moore is still very much in play to start?
I think as of right now, yes. I think that, hey, once again,
what did you think of him last year when he did get on the field?
I didn't notice him much, and that's not a bad thing.
Right. That's a good
right.
point. Yeah.
Am I right? So, and for everybody out there, I came in here and I was kind of joking with you guys. If you watch majors in golf, what do they have? Moving day Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, moving day. This moving day, you hear it 1,000 times in the Masters or U.S. Open or the PGA. Moving day Saturday. This, if there was anything that compared to that in football, it would be this is moving week.
The first week of the pads.
First week of the pads, and really the last week before you get ready to prepare and get ready for your first preseason game. So the first preseason was August 15th, right? So this week and bleeding into next week is when guys are showing the coaches, hey, listen, I deserve to get reps. I am setting the table so I can go feast on a preseason game. And the only way you can do that is by moving and showing the coaches this week, the first week of pads, when you start to get tested both mentally and physically, can you hang in there? Can you hold up? And those are the guys who are going to get the reps in preseason games. And if you don't get reps in preseason games, you don't make the team. So this is a huge week always. I used to tell younger guys all the time, week 2 into week 3 are the most important weeks of your whole career, especially as a young guy, because this is when you set the table so you can go to the feast. And if you don't set the table, go to the feast, if you don't get the reps and you don't produce and if you have a bunch of missed assignments during the week, or you're getting beat physically at the point of attack of an offensive line, or you're dropping balls, or you're getting beat deep, or all those kind of things that can happen in practice, they see that you're going to move down because they're not going to put you in there to get reps in the preseason game if you didn't earn it during this week, this moving week that is right now.
Talking to Tim Grunhard. We'll take a break, come back, talk some more Chiefs football. Talk about the Chiefs being under center, the backup quarterback, other battles going on at camp. Tim Grunhard's always brought to you by our friends at the Plumbing Pros. Sewer, septic, drain installation, and repair. If you've got any kind of plumbing problem, since 1980, the Plumbing Pros been solving them. They're the only folks we call in my house. Timmy calls them as well. Call 816-763-8200. Put that in your phone, even if you don't have a plumbing problem right now. When you do, you're going to want the number. Remember, you can find them online at theplumbingpro.com.
All right, the La Feta Delicatessen, end of the hour answer. Who was the first Chief to have a 100-yard rushing game in the postseason? There have been 5. Actually, 5 games, 4 guys. One guy did it twice.
Say it again, please.
Who was the first Chief to have a 100-yard rushing game in the postseason? 5 games, 4 people. Who was the first?
Mike Garrett.
Nope.
Ed Podolak.
Nope.
Abner Haynes.
Nope.
Christian Okoye.
Nope.
Barry Word.
He was the second.
Marcus Allen.
Nope. Never did
it. Some old guy.
Played for Hank Stram.
Yep. Christmas Day, 1971, lost in the shuffle of that loss to the Dolphins. Wendell Hayes.
Wendell Hayes.
Wendell.
Where's Wendell Hayes? Went 22 for 100 in the overtime loss. Priest Holmes did it in 2003 against the Colts at the no punt game.
Yeah, I was at that game.
And the guy who did it twice, Damian Williams, did it in the divisional playoff game against the Colts in 2018, their first postseason win in a while, Pat's first postseason win.
Yeah.
Also did it in the Super Bowl against the 49ers at the end of the 2019 season.
You said Barry Ward did it?
Mm-hmm.
What game? I can't remember.
Raiders, that wild card game, the 10-6 wild card game.
Which was amazing because the blocking was ass.
It was, particularly up the
middle. It
was
a one-man show.
Up the middle.
It's hard to run for 100 yards with the blocking his ass.
33 for 130. 33 for 130.
33 for what? Yeah, he's had with 2 yards a carry.
3.9 a carry.
Give a guy the ball 90 times. You ought to get 100 yards.
33, that's little for us. I think one time.
Which game was that?
Hey,
it was wild card game in 91.
I think
I'm going to look up my favorite part.
Was that the Steelers or Raiders?
Raiders.
Raiders.
While you guys are doing it, I'm going to look up my favorite part of that.
Well, you could afford to run it that many times because there was a stone pothead playing quarterback for the other team.
If you have some time, look up during Marty Schottenheimer's era, what was the most rushes in a game? I'm betting. I think one time we had 48 or 49 rushes in a game, maybe 50. And then you wonder why I limp around.
It'll take him a minute to.
It'll take him a long time to do that. Probably.
Game
I'm
search.
not even looking for that. I'm looking.
He's not looking at that. He's ignoring.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the.
He's ignoring me. I'll bring you some sprees.
There was a wonderful progression in the late part of that game, in which the Raiders had the ball at like your 30-yard line. They just run for a first down to the 30-yard line, down 10-6. And it was like holding.
Oh yeah, they ended up with like
holding.
4th and 48 or something.
Yeah, they were back to their own 40, and they finally got off a snap, and it was tipped and picked by Deron Cherry.
There you go. Deron had a great game in that game. Remember that?
Yeah. That was a fun game. I was
absolutely,
at it.
But the offensive line didn't. Although we were running for 130 yards with one guy, so we were ass. Unbelievable. It's tough enough. It's tough enough. Tough enough to go 11 years without winning a Super Bowl. But the little battles that we won, now they're ass. So
it's just,
I know. I know exactly what it is. We've been working with each other for 25 years. I know exactly what it is.
When you had no career whatsoever, no thought of a career, no even.
You sell yourself short.
It's fun to poke fun at those who did and get away with it. I'll be honest with you.
What are we going to do? What am I going to do?
It entertains
What can I possibly do?
What are you going to do? You're a freaking Chiefs Hall of Famer. I can't come in here and,
Yes, you can. You really
every
could.
time.
You really could. First of all, never do. But you really could. But you decide not to, which is fine. That's okay. I still love you.
I think
still love you,
I think the city's aware that you made an impact on the franchise.
Well, thank you.
Your
so
name
much.
is up in the stadium.
Yeah. Thank you.
Although
somebody
goes without
they
saying.
covered your name up during the World Cup. I think was that you?
No,
somebody else said that to me. Hey, your name was covered up during. I said Aldmore.
I wish I'd have known. I would have.
Actually, yours was the only one that was covered.
I think it was, according to some of the people I talked to.
And it's still covered, by the way. For some reason,
that's right.
Tim, I've got some numbers for you on those carries. 1991, 54 carries against the Bills in a 33-6 W.
Oh, yeah. Monday night.
Oh, yeah.
Monday night, baby.
54 carries.
54 for what? What'd they rush for total? They had to be well over 200.
I don't know. I've got your former intern Caden, aka Jockey, on it.
If you get a chance, look up the 1990
246
Detroit Lions game. I think we had a bunch of rushes. in that
Oh,
game.
my
That was
Lord.
Barry Ward had 200.
And Christian, I think, had like 140. It was crazy.
What year was that?
1990 Detroit Lions.
No. I'm the game he had.
91 against the Bills.
Okay, I want to look that up.
Yeah.
246
people
yards.
like these kids
51
are
carries.
driving around right now. They're like
54.
1991. They were playing football back then.
Yeah,
That was the
leather helmets.
That
but
was the
yeah.
game that kind of launched. I mean, that whole Monday night back at Arrowhead, it was crazy. Bills were unbeaten.
I remember driving.
You guys put it on them.
I remember
That
driving
was
into
the
that
second playoff year. I don't know that launched them. I mean,
That's
It
the
launched
game
the Monday
everyone.
nights.
Everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it
Monday
was-
night at Arrowhead. It was the
I
first
mean, it
Monday
was-
night game in 8 years.
Right.
That launched that whole feeling of
I've
Arrowhead magic.
I've been in a lot of big games in college, and obviously the couple years in the NFL by that time. But driving into that game on a Monday night, I was the most excited and nervous, and just the smoke was like, for some reason, the smoke was billowing over the stadium, and the sun was setting, and it was just an iconic look. I think there's a poster of it. And it was exactly what the poster looked like. And just driving in, I remember rolling the windows down and like, I wanted to smell the barbecue. I don't know why. It's like roll the windows driving in.
'Cause you're a fat ass
and I
and
was
you were
like,
hungry.
I was like getting kind of sick to my stomach. But man, I'll tell you what, it was kind of a tradition for me. Then from then on, whenever I got into it, I always rolled the windows down to kind of get the ambiance and the smell of the parking lots of Arrowhead.
You can get excited about the rushing, but I think the MVP that day was clearly Steve DeBerg, 16 of 23 for 150 and a touch.
There you go.
That was clearly
Hold on.
the engine.
For the 1990s offense, that was MVP type of performance.
Do you know who the leading receiver was? He was co-leader. I'll take either one of the guys that led the team in receptions, and then one of them also, they were also the two leaders in yards.
I have a guess.
Was it a tight end?
No.
Okay.
Then my guess is wrong.
Yeah, that's.
I was going to go Pete Holohan.
I was going to say Pete or who was the kid from Truckee, California? A guy from the 49ers that came over. I'm drawing a blank on his name. He does radio now up in California. He's really good guy.
This is
Ted Popson?
Ted Popson.
He was a little bit later.
This is just this game
Rob
is
Thomas?
just
Rob
by the way,
Thomas.
Pete Holohan.
Good guess.
Pete Holohan was 2 for 8 with the touch.
Yeah.
So he
I think
2
I
catches,
think he
8
scored the
yards,
first touchdown
and a
was to him.
touchdown.
We would have killed for Rashid Rice back then.
Todd McNair.
I'll get to the rushing in a minute, but here are guys who are targeted in the game for catching the ball.
All right, here we go.
You would have thought he'd have been higher, but J.J. Burton got 1 target, no catches.
All right, Willie Davis.
Pete Holohan, 2 targets, 2 catches, 8 yards, and a touchdown. Todd McNair was targeted 3 times, 2 catches, 11 yards. Tim Barnett targeted 3 times, 2 catches, 16 yards. Jonathan Hayes, 2 targets, 1 catch, 16 yards.
He caught one.
Yeah. Freddie Jones, 1 target, 1 catch, 20 yards, and then your 2 leaders.
All right.
Okay. Second on the day was running back Bill Jones, who was
Billy
targeted
Dead Leg Jones
5 times for 4 catches and 24 yards, and then the leading receiver, Rob Thomas.
Yeah.
Rob Bubba Thomas.
5 catches, 4 for 55. That was the passing offense.
You would be scrutinizing the hell out of that production right now.
Okay, so now he mentioned you ran for, what was it, 239? I think was the total number. That's what I'm looking at here. I think it was 239.
246, I see.
I like 246 better.
Well,
it doesn't matter, but go ahead.
I don't know where. Yeah, there's a discrepancy.
Maybe there's a
here.
quarterback who ran somewhere.
Yeah, maybe there's a. I don't know.
Did Steve DeBerg? No, there wasn't a quarterback that ran.
But so break me down yardage wise. Who got what out of that? It all came from the running backs, and Bill Jones and Todd McNair didn't have any carries.
Let's see. Barry Word had 110 yards.
5 carries, 14 yards.
Wow. What did Christian have then?
Well, he was the leader, 29 for 122.
Yeah. There was somebody in between those two.
Mm-hmm. For a lot. There were only 3 running backs.
Oh, my gosh.
20 for 103.
Harvey Williams.
Harvey Williams.
Harvey.
That's right.
I think
His
you
rookie
got
year.
him down with Christian beating the hell out of him. And you got him down, and Barry got some carries and just wasn't having a good day. And then you got him down, and then to lean on him, Marty said, we're sitting down the backs we count on Harvey, this is your chance.
Yeah.
And he went out there. He had a 21-yard carry, which meant he was 19 for 82 and the rest of it. But
he had one where
103.
he kind of hit the hole and bounced off somebody, did a little spin and went for like 6 more yards and was like, oh, he's electric. He's going to be good.
So when I was a freshman at Notre Dame, we played Alabama. Cornelius Bennett. There's still a painting on the wall in the stadium about the sack where he cut Steve Berline in half, and it's like an iconic hit, an iconic sack. And you go anywhere in Alabama, they have prints of these things in there. So they took the guy out.
Berline was you
my
played with
quarterback, and Cornelius Bennett was the Alabama outside linebacker / defensive end, who was an All-American, I think, twice by that time. And Byron Spruell, who was the tackle, got pulled, and they put me in.
At tackle?
At tackle to play against Cornelius Bennett. And you can imagine how that went, right? They basically ran away from me, and he was destroying me and just, all that kind of good stuff. So, by the way, Byron Spruell right now is the number 2 guy, will be the NBA commissioner when Silver retires.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So fast forward to that game. Cornelius Bennett has to play Mike linebacker because Talley gets hurt. So they move him in there. And it was feasting on him.
I was just going to say,
feasted on him.
Now he's
payback was a
now
bitch.
He's in your office.
He was in my office, and he was stuck in between all those bodies. And I didn't cheap shot him, but I certainly didn't help him up. Let's put it that way. And after the game, he's like, "Oh my God, man!" Yeah, I said, "Listen, do you remember what?" He goes, "I didn't even remember you. I don't know who." I said, "Yeah, well, I was the guy who came in after the sack, and you just destroyed me." And I'll never forget going on the bus after that game, Alabama Notre Dame, 1986. I said to myself, "I can't play in this. I can't play. If this is what I have, I'm just not good enough." I mean, that was what my mind was saying. And obviously worked through that. I was going against one of the best players in maybe college football history. But it took a long time to get
at
my
a position
confidence.
you shouldn't have been playing.
And it took a while to get my confidence back, if it ever did come back.
Who was the genius who said Grunny?
Lou Holtz. Well, basically it's because I was the long snapper there, and I was like the last guy that was there. Put him in.
Yeah.
So I put him in there. So there you go. I was a guard, and he's like, "You can play tackle." Obviously couldn't. Did never play tackle again, by the way.
So what year would that have been?
1986.
86. You're a freshman?
Freshman.
And you go in and go get Cornelius Bennett.
There you go. Baptism by fire, baby.
I mean,
Cleo Benson.
A couple years later,
you got nothing.
You're part of a national championship.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It all worked out.
As was Khalil Benson.
Yes, he was. So Khalil Benson.
Can you Sam McDowell reminded me of this. Khalil Benson is not only not drafted, he was unsigned after the draft.
Mm-hmm.
They signed him out of the tryouts.
Right. He came to the rookie dinner. I sat with him at the rookie dinner, and he got there like a couple days before, and was not signed. Everything else, and he's like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be around or not. And I was like, hey, just hang in there. You do the best you can.
And the whole time you're telling him that, you're like, no chance. You're not going to be anywhere, punk.
You know what? I had a feeling about the kid, but
really? I kept calling him Kevin, but
Yeah, that's right.
Does he?
He's a good kid. He's smart.
How did he not? I
don't know.
34
I
plus
think part
inch
of it is
arms.
because
starting tackle went up against first round picks all over the place
all
in
over
the playoffs.
the place, and then must have played well. They won the damn national championship.
I mean,
played against Alabama.
Like there's no way he
Ohio
played.
State.
There's no way that if we sat here and rolled the tape on him and watched it, we would be like, God, he was awful. God, he was terrible.
Awful.
God,
No.
that was like. There's no way they won all the games they won without him at least being moderately effective, because they were. I mean, when you're going up against first rounders, you don't smoke them every time. So good players. I mean, like the right tackle for Miami, who went number 7 or 8 in the draft.
Yeah,
I mean, he got beat by guys along the way.
Absolutely.
I mean, so how did Benson?
I don't know. That is, there's guys like that kind of slip through the cracks every year.
And I want to be clear, I'm not ready to make him,
you gave him the starting job already.
Well, I mean, I do. The way they've handled things in the past, it seems like that's the direction it's going.
Yeah.
But I want to be clear. I'm not saying Benson's ready to be, Joe Alt or something, or Mitch Schwartz at right tackle. I don't think he will be. I'm just more along the lines of can he be, Andrew Wiley, who started and won a Super Bowl for this team at right tackle.
I am going to stand on the table and say that he will be better than Andrew Wiley ever was.
Why?
I think he's going to be a good player. I don't know why. You ever get a feeling?
Show
about
your
a guy?
work, Tim. Are you copying off somebody else's paper, or what's going on here?
What work could I possibly show you?
I don't know.
He hadn't done anything yet.
I remember
But you know, you get a feeling about a guy in your gut, and you're like, listen, I've been through a lot of different between
you
playing in league, playing in college. You see guys that come in, and you're like, God, this kid, he's a walk-on, but that's some buck and play. And next thing you know, he's starting at freaking tackle or starting at guard or playing defensive tackle.
B as in boy. B as in boy
Buh.
was used in that phrase there, because you may have just turned your head towards your radio. He did not. B as in boy.
Okay.
You didn't know. You didn't think wrong.
Like Buck Rogers, but you
Like
you
a
made
Buck
it,
and Bronco,
like a
but
Buck
you
and
used-
Bronco. People could be like, "What did he just say?"
Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't know if you'd been like, "Hey, after I met him, I went home and I watched all the Indiana playoff games, and man, he was dominant. He was a baller." Just the sense of the person.
But no, I watched a bunch of Indiana football last year, and once again, I didn't notice them,
Which is a good thing.
Which is basically a little, you get the little smiley face in kindergarten from the teacher. If you do good,
I never
you get the
got
rain
that.
cloud. If you do bad, if you don't get noticed, you get a little smiley face, and you stick it in the locker.
Yeah.
If you get noticed, you get the little rain cloud with the face, the little sad face on it. He would have got smiley faces because I watched that offensive line play. Coogan was the center, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, Jimmy
For
what is it?
Indiana?
Yeah, from Indiana. He was the guy from Notre Dame. It was the MVP of a bowl game.
For Notre Dame or for Indiana?
For Indiana. He went to Notre Dame.
Pat
transferred.
Coogan.
Pat Coogan. He was the MVP of which
I think they
game?
call him Cougs.
Cougs. What game was? Look up and see what game he was the MVP of. So that offensive line was
No.
a heck of an offensive line. Yeah. So he's a heck of an offensive
He
line.
was a Rose Bowl offensive MVP.
There you go.
Okay.
As a center. God bless him.
That's not easy to do.
No, it's not.
It's like when
You would have thought. You thought over all the years I played that I would have been the MVP. The only MVP we ever got, me, Zot, and Shields were the Miller Lite players of the game for the 49ers game in 1995, I think it was, or maybe 97. But it was John Madden.
Okay.
So that was it. That's about it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
By the way, I went back and looked at that Raiders drive. It was even more bizarre than I thought. 10-6 Chiefs.
Tell everybody what it was.
Inside of 4 minutes.
This is a 1991 wild card game, right?
Yeah, wild card game.
Chiefs Raiders.
First postseason game ever.
Todd
at
Marinovich,
Arrowhead. Yeah,
running the show for the Raiders.
Yep.
Stoned to bejesus.
Probably so. So
never had a Big Mac.
Raiders have it down 4.
He has now.
True. Down 4, 2nd and 1 at the Chiefs 24. They complete a pass to Nick Bell for a first down at the 20, but face mask penalty takes it back to the 39. Incomplete pass, false start, back to the 44. Then on a pass play to Ethan Horton, Chris Martin gets penalized for defensive holding. So on 2nd and 21, they give him a gift of a defensive hold. So then it's 1st and 10 Raiders at the Chief 39. Run for no gain, 10-yard holding play. Pass incomplete, illegal player downfield. And then Brown penalized.
Where are we at? Line of scrimmage.
They're at the 49. They declined the illegal downfield because Tim Brown was penalized for offensive pass interference, moving the ball back to 1st and 30 at their own 41. They went from the Chief 20, or 24 if you don't want to count that, back to their own 41 after getting an automatic first down and a holding penalty. They were still back to the 41, and on that pass,
So Dave's
was actually picked off by Lonnie Martz, and then the Chiefs killed the clock with a couple of runs.
So the next year we're playing against them, I believe, to make the playoffs was a 92?
94.
94. Okay, it was
Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
We were playing against them, and Dave Zott decided he was going to talk to the media and made the comment that they're going to do something stupid. They always do. They'll have some penalty in a key situation. That's probably where he got it from. And that was bulletin board materials for the Raiders. I remember all week they were saying, Dave Stott says we're going to do something stupid, huh? Blah, blah, blah. And then the game, of course, Howie Long, first play, steps across, and coming after you, kid. And but they did. They always had penalties. They were always leading the league in penalties, the Raiders, back in that day. But enough of that.
Enough of that.
Yeah.
Enough of that.
So you went to practice today. Talk to me a little bit about, do you see any underneath quarterback stuff?
We'll do that right after we take a break.
Excellent.
Tim Grunhard is
Can't
with
wait to
us,
hear.
football insider, life coach, Chiefs Hall of Famer, brought to you each and every time by our friends at The Plumbing Pro. The one to know is The Plumbing Pro. You're listening to the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We'll talk some baseball with Jeff Passan coming up in our next hour.
Oh, I want to be here for that.
Had to move past. Well, you can sit right there.
I love
Chat with him if you
Jeff.
want.
Tell him I said hello. Tell him I'm sorry that I text him all the time about Cubs moves.
By the way, like the idea that Tim's going to hang around, like you could literally sit in on the interview, but like the music isn't even done playing from his final segment, and he is like 20 yards down the hall on his way out the door.
I'm a busy man.
Oh, yeah, you're swamped.
That's not
You're swamped.
remotely true.
Yeah.
I'm a busy man.
Captain,
Jeff Passan is nothing on me.
The busy bee, Tim Grunhard, is gracing us with a little bit of time. He's wedged us in between a golf game and a massage.
Between workouts.
Talking some Chiefs football. Do you think they're really going to get under center? I mean, they're running stuff under center, but
I do.
But do you think it's going to be an appreciable difference? Do you think we're going to look at it and be like, this is the real key to why things are better?
Oh, geez, Louise. Now my whole game is shot.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
So, listen, going on, yes, I do think they're going to go underneath. I think it'll be noticeable because we'll be looking for it.
Right.
And I know Kenneth Walker, listen, just with some of the stuff that he does, it would be malpractice if they didn't. He's a guy that likes to get deeper, 7, 8, 9 yards. He likes to be able to. He's got good vision, but he just likes to pour it in there and hit seams, and a little bit. I don't want to say Barry Ward-esque or for us Christian Okoye-esque, but back in the day, blocking, especially when it comes to the shotgun, you're taking guys kind of where they want to go. Right, you're taking them with it. So, you're trying to reach a one technique, and he's busting it outside. You run in the back, cuts back, and because he's got time to do it. When you have a running back sitting in the 7 to 8 to 9 yards and a quarterback under center, you're trying to create seams. So you're trying to get your head across and cutting that guy off from getting to that seam because that's where he's going to hit it. And I think that little bit of not hesitating, a little bit of just going ahead and being aggressive is really important for a running back like Kenneth Walker to do this. So we always talk about the X's and O's are dictated by the Jimmies and Joes. Mm-hmm. Well, the X's and O's should be dictated to what he does well.
Well,
and
that's for Walker, I agree, but is the shotgun because Pat's the Jimmy and that Jimmy wants the shotgun?
See, I don't know. I think that Jimmy would like to have a productive offense.
That's why I think so too.
And I think there's some things that he could do.
I asked him flat out, do you want to get under center? He goes, whatever it takes to win. All I want to do is win.
Well,
which is easy to answer, but
one of the things that I think that he would do so well at is some of the boot and waggle stuff, where he can be underneath the running back coming through and then tucking the ball out and getting out in space and trying to find some moves. So it's really important for thanks Mike. Yep. Hey buddy. So well, I feel like a guppy.
Yes. We are in a fishbowl.
Yes, we are.
No doubt.
Some of the boots and stuff, I think he'd be really good at that. It gets him out into space a little bit. Instead of having to plant, stop, now roll out, he can, in one continuous motion, get out there, get some guys doing some mesh patterns, some crossing patterns, hit guys on the move. That would be productive for his offense. The other thing, when you got a guy underneath, for one reason or another, and maybe it's just a kind of the way that you think about the game, safeties get a little bit, can I use the word horny? They get a little bit hornier. They come up.
I think you just did.
Yeah, and they come up and they are worried more about the run than they are about getting beat deep, especially when the quarterback is underneath. And I think that'd be a good thing for him too. So if I come back next week, if I am hired here next week after saying that word, we'll talk a little bit about, there's some different things that this offense could do in order to produce some bigger plays.
I agree. And I think they could get some easy 10-yard plays just off some, you said, the fake and bootleg. And let's just not make everything have to be, every now and then 2 + 2 can equal 4. You don't have to have this scientific. You don't need Matt Damon and Goodwill Hunting to come scribble all over the board sometimes to get 10 yards.
How about these apples, baby?
Yes.
Let's do it.
How about them apples?
All right.
How about a simple
How about them apples?
play action bootleg, tight end coming out the back door?
I love it.
10 yards.
I love it.
Easy money.
Hey, get those safeties sniffing in there a little bit.
Our OC is wicked smart. I may never recover from the last 5 minutes. Who was the only player ever to hit 30 homers in each of his first 5 seasons? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
husband, father, Elmo impersonator? He wrote The Arm and is currently writing its follow-up, The Leg. He has everyone's phone number, even yours. He's MLB insider Jeff Passan of ESPN, only on the program.
Jeff Passan's appearance here on the program brought to you by our friends at Jocelyn's Jewelry. You know, the best gifts aren't measured by their price. They're measured by the memories they create. Jocelyn's Jewelry, the place to be for making great memories when it comes to gifts. For generations, they've helped out Kansas Cityans celebrate engagements, anniversaries, birthdays, life's biggest moments. Exceptional jewelry, unmatched personal service. You'll notice the moment you walk in the door, you're treated like family, whether you're looking for the perfect diamond, a luxury timepiece, or a piece custom designed just for someone special. Find it at Jocelyn's Jewelry. You can find them right there on the southeast corner of 95th and Antioch. They're online at jocelynsjewelry.com. Let's welcome Jeff Passan to the program. Jeff, how are you, my friend?
I'm great, Soren. How are you?
Good. Overall reaction to the trade deadline, a little quieter than we thought. I don't think it was quieter than you thought. Certainly, I think the last time we talked, you were saying you thought it was going to maybe be a little bit disappointing. It wasn't going to be quite as maybe, you know, the frenzy that it could be. So I think it lived up to what you thought, or am I wrong?
I mean, there were 42 trades on the final day. It was a lot, but maybe it wasn't a lot of impact. I think that's what it was as much as anything, Soren. Like, Tarek Skubal, one of the biggest deadline deals of this century. But beyond that, just in terms of impact, you know, Jose Soriano might have been the second most valuable player who was moved, and he went to a team in the Toronto Blue Jays that's not even trying to win this year. So there was that. There was a little bit of buy and sell from the Blue Jays that I thought was interesting, and everyone else just pretty much did what they should have for the most part. I thought the Rays got a whole lot better in getting Liam Hicks and Freddie Peralta and Tyler Wells. I thought the Red Sox, it was very interesting going out and paying what they did for Adley Rutschman. Like, it was a hefty price, but you know, Soren, one thing that I just appreciated about this deadline is there were teams that said, we want to go for it. And there are too many teams these days that I fear don't. And to me, the deadline is the great separator and differentiator when you're looking at who wants to win and who doesn't. It's not just the offseason. It's not how much you spend. It's when the team is actually playing, how much is the front office going to support them by adding?
Listen, I don't want to make it out to be that all the owners are valiant and doing everything they can, and it's for the greater good of their community and everything. I'm not trying to say that, but I hear that they want to win, and I'm sure the Brewers are one of the teams that don't want to win because they didn't go out and pay the price for Tarek Skubal. But I think it's important when we say things like that to point out the teams that wanted to win, in other words, did the kind of things that you're talking about, didn't get there and are now crashing and burning, like the San Diego Padres. Right? Like, they did everything.
I think it's Soren, we've had like one day of games since the deadline. I'm not going to go out on the crashing and burning.
No, I mean, I'm talking about 3-4 years ago. I'm talking about when they signed Eric Hosmer. They signed Manny Machado. They signed Xander Bogaerts. Contracts that at that time, I'm like, this Bogaerts deal is going to be an utter disaster on the back end of it. I had that conversation on the radio in San Diego. With guys that I go on with there. And I'm like, I said, hey, listen, you got an owner that's going for it. And they all know, we know the story. And the owner passed away. And it was kind of like Ewing Kauffman's free agent frenzy when he went out and got David Cone and got Storm Davis and got Mark Davis. And, you know, the Padres had more success than that last gasp effort by Ewing Kauffman to win one more World Series. Ended up netting him in the end. But, you know, it usually doesn't work. And if you're a mathematic and analytical-driven team, like, that's the thing. Everybody, we get the analytics, we champion it, we celebrate all the good decisions, but then we want them to just drop it and go all in. Go put it all on green. There's two green spaces on that wheel. Get it all in there. Let's go, or you don't really want to win.
Soren, we're going to have a nuanced conversation here.
Okay.
And I think this is I try to talk with executives in other sports. Because, in baseball, I'm not going to say everyone thinks the same, but there's a lot of groupthink in baseball. And this was at the last trade deadline where I had this conversation with a president of basketball operations from a successful NBA team.
Why are they taking your call?
Because I'm Jeff Passan.
Wow.
Mark that, please. I'm not even going to say it. Usually I would just press the button and tell Kyle to mark it where no one else heard it. I want everybody in the city to know. We're marking that. You will hear that again and again.
And for everyone listening right now, my tongue is so firmly planted in my cheek. I hope you understand that. I do not look at myself that way. I do not think myself that way.
It was 2 years ago when you started referring to yourself in the third person that we knew things had changed.
He just says that he bombs atomically. He doesn't talk about himself.
All we were missing was
do you want to know the actual answer to that question, Soren? Why are they talking to you?
Yeah.
Because they are interested in how baseball teams are run. Other sports look at baseball as being the standard bearer when it comes to a mixture of analytical analysis and what the eye sees. And other sports think that baseball has done the best job of integrating analytics into its game. So they're always very curious how baseball teams are run and the decisions that are made. But I think it's applicable, this concept that we're going to talk about across all sports, because my question was, this was based at the last deadline on the Boston Red Sox, who were a competitive team, going out and getting only Dustin May to add to what they had. And, there was a lot of prospect hugging going on by the Red Sox. And so I asked this executive, how much should a model, and this is an analytical model, how much should a model be used in terms of decision-making at a time like the trade deadline? And he pulled out to the 30,000-foot view and said, it depends on where the team is in its window, so to speak. If you are starting from scratch, if you are in full rebuild mode, he suggested, you should rely on the model for 95 to 99% of your decisions. That the model, just because it understands history and because it values players in a very concrete way, is a good thing to use when you're trying to start building something. But then he said, when you get to 500, the calculus changes a little bit, because you're at a point where, a few marginal wins here and there can make you a playoff team. And in baseball, being a playoff team is not like the other sports. In baseball, we have seen teams that are barely over 500 win the World Series. The Cardinals' last World Series, I think they were, if I'm correct, they were 83 and 79.
Yeah.
I think they,
06.
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't the last.
It is usually a team
06 team.
that if you look at the years before and after it, have proven to be better than that record, and something has dragged them down.
Which that team did. They had a 104-win season, I think, the year or 2 years before that, and lost. But
your point's valid. I get where you're going. Go ahead.
Yeah, when you're getting close in baseball, that's when you can shift a little bit away from the model and start making some more decisions based on what your team needs. The model does not know what your clubhouse looks like. The model does not take into account necessarily how close you are. You can look at stuff like championship win probability added. Like, that's why the Cubs in 2016 gave up, a haul for Aroldis Chapman, because he added 5% to their championship probability. That was just what the model was telling them. But
that again, right there. But that is playing to the model. That is using the math.
And that is precisely, Soren, when this executive from the NBA suggested that you do it. When you are in a true, clear championship window, you shouldn't be making decisions strictly on the model, because Soren, even though Aroldis Chapman added that much to the Cubs' win probability for a championship, it was still deemed an egregious overpay by the model. Like, it was still looked at like you are giving up an exorbitant amount in future value for not a negligible amount now, but nowhere close to the same.
And this is when Chapman went where?
This is when Chapman went to the Cubs.
Okay. Because because here's what I would say is, you said that baseball, your whole point about going for it was that the baseball playoffs are different, and we've seen 83 win teams go on to win a championship, right?
Yep.
So, okay, but that is a statement of it's worth it when you get to 500 to get into the postseason. But the Brewers are in the postseason. And if it's a crapshoot once you get there, there's no point in trying to add on. Like, I think the thing that has damaged, I give the Brewers great credit, because I guarantee you there are a lot of GMs telling owners or owners telling GMs, whoever is in the go for it no matter what, well, look at the Royals. They got Johnny Cueto and Ben Zobrist, and they won a championship. They're the last small market team to do it. And so that's what you should do. When in reality, like, the Ben Zobrist deal really worked out. The Johnny Cueto deal is the greatest accumulation of luck ever. That deal really, it actually sucked. He had like 4 good starts, and 3 of them were at critical moments for the team. And just like I don't believe in clutch, I think good hitters hit good in good situations and bad situations, right? And you can get off a little bit and be kind of hot. Are you streaky? Are you lucky? No, you're just kind of locked in. Then you're kind of not locked in, and you're not as hot. Or you face a run of guys that just, their physiology is that you don't see the ball very good. So you think you're in a slump, and in reality, you're doing everything right. There's just nothing you can do based upon where your eyes are on your head. Okay, like whatever it is. And so to me, the Brewers are the ones who are like, screw all that. The easy thing is to come out to the podium and say, yeah, we made the move because we're close and we're going for it, and play to the machismo and the American winner mentality, when in reality it's all crap. It's reality is we're good enough to win it, and if we just keep putting ourselves in this situation, we're going to win it. But why would we limit the number of times we can be in this situation? So we're not going to go overpay or even pay fair market value for Seaboldt, because it's going to defeat our chances of putting ourselves in position for years to come.
See, I everything you say is totally fair, man. I can't argue against any of what you say. I think I just believe that when you are in that championship window, that adding is imperative, and that you don't, even though everything the Brewers have done to get them there, like, their stuff works. They have built a long-term winner by just following their process. But the point that this NBA executive was making is there are times at which the process is there to build your foundation. The opportunity to pair Tarek Skubal with Jacob Misiorowski, when you are looking at, let's look at all these different factors. Factor number 1, I hope I am wrong on this, but when a guy throws as hard as Jacob Misiorowski does, there is an increased risk for an elbow injury, and you never know when it's going to happen, right? But if it happens at the wrong time of year, let's say the time of year that it happened with Stephen Kolek and Luinder Avila, if it happens in August, not only are you losing Jacob Misiorowski for the stretch run that year, but you're losing him for the whole next season as well. So that's factor number 1. But number 2 is we're dealing with their opposition being the greatest juggernaut we've seen in a quarter century in the Los Angeles Dodgers. It takes something special to beat them. Now, maybe that special thing is that you are playing out of your mind in that moment. Maybe that special thing is that they're just going through it and they're slumping and they're not the Dodgers that we've come to see. But if you just assume you're going to get the average kick-ass Los Angeles Dodgers team out there, I think you feel a whole lot better about your chances if you have Jacob Misiorowski pitching game 1 and Tarek Skubal pitching game 2 than you do otherwise. And that, to me, is the reason that I think that the Brewers should have gone out and gotten him. I think the Brewers should have increased their package. I think it would have gone a long way, because while the Dodgers, I think most people agree the Dodgers did have the best overall package on the table at the end of the day, I'm not sure it would have taken a whole lot of an increase from the Brewers to go and get Seaboldt. And I think he would have benefited them a whole lot more than he's going to the Dodgers.
Yeah, I want to be clear. I would like to have seen them. I do agree with the fundamental, like the process gets us to a point, and then when we're in the window, let's go ahead and try to increase it, even if it only ends up increasing us 5%. And I think Skubal is an even better buy than Johnny Cueto was. I don't know that Johnny Cueto wasn't as expensive probably as Skubal would end up being if the Brewers had to top the Dodgers offer. And I think there's probably an element of the Dodgers just scare everybody into not even bidding. Like, I think they benefit from the fact that everyone's like, well, why are we going to waste our time? Let's pivot over here and go talk about this. The Dodgers are supposedly in on Skubal. They're going to get him anyway. No matter what we do, they'll just keep upping it. And that plays into their hand. I would love to have, I'm with you, I would love to have seen Skubal on the Brewers. But I just want to be clear. My point is, I don't like the villainization of the Brewers that they don't want to win because they didn't go outbid the Dodgers for Skubal. I think that's an unfair characterization.
Yeah, I don't look at that as I don't look at the Brewers any lesser. I just wonder if they missed an opportunity. That's all.
Also,
I think
go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
I just think that the opportunity this year with everything that they've done, I'm not going to say it's now or never because it's not. The Brewers are going to be good for a while. They've got Jackson Chourio locked up long term. They've got Luis Lara and Cooper Pratt locked up long term. Bryce Soren is going to be around for a while. They've done an awesome job of platooning at first base with Andrew Vaughn and Jake Bowers. Their pitching staff has some depth to it, and Kyle Harrison, young guy, lots of control. Logan Henderson, young guy, lots of control. Like they have the number one prospect in baseball, and Jesus Mate. Like the Brewers are going to be really good for a while. I just wonder, Soren, if 5 years from now we look back at this year as their best opportunity to dethrone the Dodgers.
Yeah, no, I think it could be, and it would have been great to see him go 1-2 with Skubal and Mizorowski. I think that is the best chance to beat the Dodgers is to go Arizona Diamondbacks, Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling.
It would have been the best pair since then, and you could say the same for the Braves. I mean, there hasn't been a pair of left-handed pitchers together like Tarek Skubal and Chris Sale since the early 1900s.
Yeah,
we're talking Rube Waddell era.
Although guys were going. I mean, Schilling and Johnson were going deeper into games than the starters are. The starters are starting to mean a little bit less because they're not going as far. Now maybe they're going to unleash the fury in the postseason, and Jacob Mizorowski is going to pitch 8. I don't know. We'll see what happens when they get there. I do want to mention you said Jose Soriano one of the biggest values to get moved after Skubal. And the Dodgers, and you pointed out the Blue Jays aren't even in it. This is I will give Kurtis Seaboldt the presidency of this club when he pointed out that if you're going to sit in the dugout and mention that we're not going to move Walker unless we're blown away, basically wanting 2 major league ready pitchers for the one, you want to be blown away because you need them in 27. You're stating you need to compete in 27. Why not go top the Blue Jays? I mean, the Blue Jays did that. The Blue Jays think they're going to compete next year, and they backed it up. They went and got a pitcher with multiple years of control. The Royals should have been beating down the door for Jose Soriano if he was available, if they really think they can compete in 27. This is where you're trying to serve 2 masters but not going all in on either. I don't think you can serve 2 masters in a small market. And so they want to compete, but they don't want to give up what it takes to actually go. Make sure you compete in 27.
So let's go over the possibilities. And I'm going to ask you,
give me a comparable trade.
Well, no. Let me ask you this: would you have given up Kendry Chourio in a Jose Soriano trade?
No, but there wasn't a Kendry Chourio caliber prospect that went from the Blue Jays, was there?
Arjun Namal is quite good. Yeah,
Arjun Namal is kind of this analytic nerd, young guy in the draft. I mean, what's he got? 18? No, he's 20 now. He's progressing. He's a real prospect and everything. Because he hit like crap, by the way, last year. But anyway, he's having a good year this year. But I mean, what do you think? What do you think he is? I mean, I think Kendry Chourio is a bigger prospect than him.
I think they are seen by models as right around the same.
Okay,
they're in like the same vicinity. So would you give up Kendry Chourio in a Jose Soriano deal?
Is it? I mean, and what else did they give up? Weren't there multiple players?
Yeah, but Namala was really the carrying piece.
Well, I will tell you this: would I? No. But if I were JJ Picollo and I believed what I was saying in that dugout, yes. Yes, because what's your acronym? There's no such thing as a real pitching prospect.
Pitching prospect.
Yeah.
Tap.
Yeah. How is it again?
Pins tap. There is no such thing as a pitching prospect.
Yeah, and I mean, and I stepped all over it. That's why I wanted people to hear it. Where they could hear it clearly. Like if I really thought they were going to contend in 27, yes, I would, because I think every pitcher is destined to get blown up. But I don't think they're going to compete in 27. So I'm fine if that's what it was going to take to do it. That they didn't make it happen. Could you have created a package with David Shields and Blake Mitchell? Because they wanted a catcher. They took a catcher back.
They did. You're right about that.
And the Joe Adell deal.
And with Blake Mitchell and with Ramon Ramirez, like
could you have, if you take those two trades, because the catcher was a second-round pick in last year's draft from the Guardians that got Joe Adell. And I know there's mixed reviews on Joe Adell.
I was going to say, I would not trade Ramon Ramirez or Blake Mitchell for Joe Adell.
Well, what I was going to say is, could you have gotten Joe Adell and Jose Soriano for like Blake Mitchell, David Shields, one of your other prospects, kept Churio out of it? Could you have built a package and got both of those guys?
No, I think Churio would have been, if not either Churio would have been a must, or they would have wanted like Anibal Gomez plus Blake Mitchell plus Josh Hammond.
Okay.
Like it would have been, I mean, it would, for a system, the Royal system has improved this year. Churio has been awesome. Hammond has been pretty much what we thought he was, which is a guy who, if they did a redraft of 2025, Josh Hammond probably would go 15 picks higher. Like I think he would probably be a top 15 pick. And Gomez might be the one. Like Gomez might be the next great Royal.
I mean, I know they're pretty excited, but we're talking about Dominican League numbers, right?
We are, but it goes beyond that. That's the beauty, Soren, of modern baseball analysis. We know so much about them, and just in terms of the squared up rate and how hard Gomez hits the ball, it's potentially elite. He's the guy. He's the guy. Kendrick Churio, I think, probably is going to top out at like a top 20. Like if everything goes well and he continues doing what he's doing, the ceiling's probably top 20, maybe top 15 prospect. If everything keeps hitting with Gomez, he's got top 5 potential.
Okay. Well, that's more because he's a position player versus pitcher, right?
There's some of that, but you look at right now, Cade Anderson, Seth Hernandez, Ryan Sloan, all top 10 guys.
Yeah, on a midseason list, which is a little bit different. I mean, I remember when Will Myers got traded, the people who were prospect hounds hated it because it was the number one prospect in baseball. Well, half the prospects have graduated, into the bigs now, so the list looks a little different.
Prospect lists get updated all the time now. Baseball America just came out today with its latest top 100, and I think they had Gomez 47th, and I think they had Churio I think Churio was like 35th, somewhere in that range.
Okay. All right. So was there a Gomez that was out there to be had that the Royals could have moved Waka for?
No, I don't think they get a top 50 or top 100 guy back for Michael Waka at this point. I'm trying to think of
even all the way down in the Dominican League.
Well, you don't find many top 50 prospects in the DSL. Like you have to be the best player down there essentially, and that's what Gomez has been. You have to be seen as the best player down there, plus have ceiling, plus have the makeup stuff. Like in order to be seen as a top 50 guy in the Dominican Summer League, you have top 5 potential, and I don't think any team from Michael Waka is doing that. Now, the closest thing you could have seen was what Milwaukee did in getting Dustin May and JoJo Romero. They gave up Alexander Frias and Josiah Ragsdale. And Frias is a huge ceiling outfielder, and Ragsdale is just a tooled-up breakout guy right now. I thought St. Louis crushed that deal. So could Waka have been that guy? Yeah, but here's the difference, Soren, between Michael Wacha and Dustin May. Dustin May has the kind of stuff that can win you playoff games, that can blow away really good lineups. An upper 90s fastball and a really nasty cutter and a slider that gets swing and miss. Michael Wacha is the guy who's going to start game 3 or 4 for you, and if you get 6 innings and 3 runs out of him, you feel extremely happy. Teams like the Brewers, they're going for ceiling, and that's what they did. There's risk to that in getting a guy like Dustin May, who's shown that he can throw 8 shutout innings, or 8 scoreless innings rather, and punch 12, 13, 14 guys out. Michael Wacha's not going to have one of those outings. May's also the guy who might throw you 2 innings and give up 7 runs against a playoff team, and I don't think you're going to get that from Wacha either. So it's variance and it's extremes, and it was the Brewers shooting for ceiling rather than the sure thing.
We're talking to Jeff Passan here in the program. Did you hear the Royals linked to anything that was talked about but didn't come to fruition?
I did not. I thought it was going to be a quiet deadline for them. It was a quiet deadline for them. They got, the Duran kid they got back for Chris Bubich, I think probably has a chance to be a bullpen arm in the near future. I mean, he's a big dude and he throws really hard, but what's the ceiling, the gap between ceiling and floor there is quite large, because I'm not saying he's going to be a Joan Duran type by any means, and I didn't use that because they share a last name, but more because they share that enormous size. I don't think Carlos Duran's going to be Joan Duran, but if everything clicks with him, if the Royals pitching development can get at him and make something out of him, he's got closer type potential, but he's also got the ability to be a guy who spends 5 days in the big leagues with the Royals, and it turns out he's nothing.
Well, he does not know the strike zone. I mean, that's for sure.
No.
Last year
more this year than he has in past years.
True,
but yes,
this year he's just bad at throwing strikes. Last year it was comedic.
Throwing strikes has been a real problem for him, really, for like the last 5 years.
He was a walk per inning last year. I mean,
could he possibly be Duran?
Good God, Kurtis!
I have to sit next to that every day. Every day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who I feel. I don't know who I feel worse for, him having to sit next to you, or you having to sit next to him.
Exactly. Mutual self-destruction. The Lane Thomas trade. What did you think of that?
I don't really have a strong opinion on that. Like the way that it was put to me, I reached out to somebody with Atlanta, and I was like, "You happy with the deal?" And his response was, "We got a platoon outfielder. How happy can I be?" And maybe Lucas Braun is something. I think at very least he's gonna get some starts with a big league team. I don't know if it's this year or going forward, but I don't know what the ceiling's like there.
It seems like the other guy, former second-round pick out of Andy, coming off Tommy John, like that might be the juice of the deal, right? When they released the deal, his name is
Carter Holton's name.
Carter Holton. Carter Holton's name was first, and he's younger and alphabetically second. So and at a lower level. So I don't know why you would release his name first unless that was the apple of your eye.
Carter Holton right now, Soren is in low A, and he's turning 24 in a month.
I'm not saying I'm on board with it. I'm just saying, is that maybe, because Braun does seem to be like, okay, he is what he is. I mean, Braun looks like the guy who's your eighth reliever because he pitches differently than everybody else. We've got a bunch of power arms, and this is the guy we come in and he throws, he's Seth Lugo-ish in the sense that, and maybe that's what they're going to do. We're going to make him a starter. Everybody's throwing gas everywhere. We're going to have our guys come out and trick everybody, or at least one guy always. And when Lugo moves on after next year, he steps into that role. I don't know. I'm not sure what all the thinking is. I haven't had a chance to talk with anybody about it, but I just didn't know if there's a chance to Holton was actually a sneaky good, people liked him coming out of the draft. No, that doesn't sound like what I'm hearing.
I mean, is there something there potentially? Sure. At the end of the day, he's a 5'11" lefty.
Well, I'd rather him be a 5'11" lefty than righty.
That is very fair. But then again, the best prospect in the organization is a 5'11" righty. So
6'1", 6'1". According to Paul Gibson, 6'1".
Maybe he's grown.
You're saying Paul needs a new tape measure? Is that what you're saying?
You know what? I've never stood next to Kendry Churio, so I don't know. He's been described. I'm only using what he's been described to me as a sub 6 foot right-hander.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting because
Soren, I don't give a damn how tall you are if you're pitching like Kendry Churio, though. That
I agree.
Make a difference to me.
Yeah, and by the way, for all the people driving around out there, we're aware Pedro Martinez wasn't 6 foot. We know that there are guys that have dominated without being big guys, but just more often than not.
If the guy you have to draw back on pitched 25 years ago, you might want to find more.
Yeah, and
find a second source.
Well, it's like Drew Brees threw for 88,000 yards. Don't tell me you got to be 6. Okay, you found the outlier.
Yeah,
you go ahead and draft every quarterback under 6 foot. I'll take the taller guys. We'll see who wins more.
I actually had someone try to tell me that Jack Caglione wasn't more injury prone in outfield than first base by citing Babe Ruth. I kid you not, who PCA may not think exists, but
oh, good times.
Well, Ruth did it.
Final four time with our man Jeff Passan. 4 quickies here. Jeff, I had the pleasure of spending my morning in St. Joe, Missouri. When was the last time you were in St. Joe?
I don't think I've ever been.
Never been?
Nope.
Wow.
Never.
Are your kids Chiefs fans?
Yeah, but okay. I know people love training camp, so what I've learned is that my opinion on things that other people love, I shouldn't go and degrade them. So I'm going to.
I would have thought you'd have just made a call and, then you'd be standing there next to Andy behind the offense, him showing you the play before it's run.
I think I've driven through St. Joe, but I don't think I've ever actually stopped there.
Have you driven to like Minneapolis or Des Moines?
Nope.
I mean, I don't think you have. I don't know what you were doing.
No. I'll tell you when I have for Pembroke Hill baseball.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
I love the idea of him standing next to Reed on a play. Yeah, take that out of the playbook. That play's not going to work.
All right. The next one. What's your World Series prediction now? Who over who? What are you feeling after the deadline? Time to change it, but what do you feel right now?
Dodgers over Rays.
Okay. Liking the Rays. Tell me, what's harder on the body to play, right field or first base?
Right field.
Okay. Is that a stupid question to be asking? Like, is it no doubter?
It's a no doubter.
Okay. I just want to make sure because there was a lively debate earlier today that was going round and round. And there was a couple of people who earned a check being in the media who said, no, first base, way tougher. Because you got to move. You got to move every time the ball is hit, Jeff.
Yeah. Who was on the first base track there?
I mean,
Vinny Pasquantino.
Sterling, who's on with Jason in the middays, and Mick Schaefer from 41.
All right. Well, Mick's an athlete.
I think I think that was more like they played the role of
devil's advocate.
No. Jason's fired up. Let's be a-holes.
Huh.
Okay. Yeah. The phrase rage baiting was created on Sports Talk Radio.
Oh, for sure.
All right, and finally, last one. Where are you taking us all to dinner? Since Stephen Kolek had Tommy John surgery the other day.
Wait, did I say that he's not going to?
Yes, that was our bet. You said you don't know that he's going to have surgery. I go, have I been told he's going to have surgery by the team doctor or by the general manager? No. But when you go with this injury and then you go to a doctor and then you seek a second opinion, it's not because they told you everything's okay and you want to make sure. It's because they told you you're going to have surgery and that's going to happen. Yeah. And you said, no, you can't. And then you said, listen, he's probably going to have surgery, but just because you're such an ass, I'll take that bet. And so It's
All right.
dinner on Jeff.
I don't think I even knew at the time. If I had known that he'd gone out for a second opinion, I would have never made that bet because you're exactly right. So when you're going for a second opinion, it's because the first doctor told you need surgery. You know what, Soren? I'll leave that up to you.
Okay.
It'll allow me to see just how distinguished a palate you have.
No, I don't. Like you're such more the foodie. Like I've already been telling my guys for our fantasy football trip in Vegas. I'm like, you guys go for the fine dining crap. I'm out. Like I'll go get the foot-long hot dog on the Strip and play some poker. I mean, like you know.
All right. Well, in that case, I look forward to having some wings at the Peanut.
There you go,
Jeff. You're the man. Appreciate the time, my friend. We'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
The program with Soren Petro.
Stab it in the throat!
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Roberts Robinson is the place to go if you need a new truck. You want to know why? Because they've got some great things going on right now. Special employee pricing for everyone on select 26 GMC Sierra 1500s. How about the Chevy Silverados? They've got 0% APR for qualified buyers on new 26 Chevy Silverados. And if you're looking for an SUV, my buddy's looking for a Chevy Equinox. You know what he called? Roberts Robinson. That's right, because right now you can get 0% APR for 5 years and no payments for 90 days on a Chevy Equinox. Listen, the deals are great. The customer service is even better. Roberts Robinson is there for you when you buy the vehicle. Number one, they give you the best trade value right up front. They know nobody wants a big hassle. And even after you have a great deal and you drive out with your new car, you also know that Roberts Robinson is standing behind you. Listen, there's 150 new and used vehicles available right now, so check them out online at robertsrobinson.com. They take care of their customers after the sale. How about this? When it comes to the service department, you're getting masterclass and world-class technicians. Their service department is out of this world. They'll even come down and pick up your vehicle, service it, and bring it back to you. Even get you a loaner car. I know, we needed that for my daughter's car just about last month. They were absolutely fantastic to deal with. Are you a senior? If you're 60 and older, you get 10% off every Tuesday and Thursday when it comes to the service department. How about a military or first responder? They give 10% off on parts and labor. They are absolutely fantastic. And they're one of only a handful of dealers all over the country where every new vehicle comes with something that the others just don't give you. A free lifetime powertrain warranty. That means coverage on key components like engine, transmission, transfer case, drive axle, fluids, and filters for as long as you own the vehicle. If you want the best car buying experience, go to the best. Go to Roberts Robinson. They've been great for me and my family. They will be great for you and your family. Go right now to robertsrobinson.com. Check out all those vehicles. They're right there in Excelsior Springs. They are worth it. You will love the car buying experience at Roberts Robinson. See why buying your next vehicle can be a better experience.
Out of sight, out of mind. That certainly describes the roof on your commercial building. That is, unless it's leaking. A WeatherTech Renovations professional preventative maintenance program addresses roof issues based on simple priority. Leaks first, then developing leaks, and finally, life extending opportunities.
We continue with the fourth quarter of the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHBR. Thanks to Jeff Passan for joining us here in the 5 o'clock hour of the program. We'll give you the things you need to know, wrap things up with the kicker. We'll start with a little Chief sound. Why wouldn't we?
Yep. Andrew, Josh, Amari, and Harrison today.
Remember when Eric Eager used to refer to, we need Andy to call the plays and not Andrew?
Yeah, we need fewer Andrew plays. More Andy plays.
That was one of my
so good.
One of my favorite
So
Eagerisms. All right, let's start with Andy Reid.
Remember when Kurtis would send me the cut list? What are we playing?
I just did.
Okay, sweet.
Remember when you had access to the internet? That may not be your fault. I will tell you. So I hear you.
I was a little late, but I did get it there.
Yeah. Better late than never. Is that what you're saying, Curtis?
Usually, yes.
Okay.
Well, that's not often always the truth.
All right. Let's start with Andy Reid. He was asked how the left side of his line is looking.
Yeah, you can see him communicating. Kingsley does a nice job of that, making sure Josh gets all the calls and everything, so the more they play together, the better it'll be. And they're both very gifted, and so athletically, and it's just a matter of the techniques, fundamentals, all that stuff, and they work like crazy. And Heck does a good job working on those guys.
It would be nice if the left side of the offensive line wasn't an issue every week. This year, it wasn't as much last week as it was the year before.
I didn't think that was really the problem. Did you last year?
Well, maybe when Simmons was down for a little bit, they had some issues. But it'd be nice to say, okay, these guys are going to be there every day, every week. We can just put that to bed completely.
Yeah, I like the chances. I think Josh Simmons is going to have a really good year. I mean, I wish there was you could draft offensive linemen in fantasy football. Because I think he's going to play really well. But I think Kingsley's still a work in progress. He had a play today where he just ducked his head, and I'm like, Rule 1. I mean, good Lord, if you've listened to this show, how many times Tim talked about get your head up?
Yes.
And he ducked his head down, and whoever it was, and I think it was like a journeyman guy, just like clubbed down on the back of his shoulders and ran him right into the ground. I'm like, come on,
not good.
Get your head up. I think he's a good player. I think he grew in leaps and bounds within the training camp last year. So I do feel pretty good. I think this offensive line, it damn well better be good. There's a big investment in it, and I think it will be good. So, speaking of Josh Simmons, he was at the podium today. I asked him about the difference between last year and this year. Last year he was rehabbing, trying to figure out the NFL, the NFL training camp. Everything was new. I asked him if there was a little more room on his plate this season.
Exactly like you said. I mean, you have a little bit more room on your plate to kind of fit maybe an extra hour of film here, maybe, getting with the boys, getting on something like that. Just you have more time to kind of add back into some on the field.
And the weight, I know that was one of the conversations back in the camp.
Yep.
Good where you're at weight-wise?
Yes, sir.
What's your number?
I mean, it's kind of ballpark right now, but it's definitely where it needs to be.
Did not want to give the weight. Didn't want to give the weight.
That's a ballpark right now.
I'm going to tell you, I would say he looks 10 to 15 pounds heavier than he was at minicamp. Did they give the weight at minicamp? Didn't they say 275? I had 275 in my head. Did they say that?
I don't remember hearing that.
All right, maybe I'm inserting a number, but he was a little smoother. In other words, carrying a little more body mass, not quite so ripped. People are talking about him like he looks like a WWE superstar. And he's not fat by any stretch of the imagination. He's just not quite as vascular, through the arms and everything as I remember him being at that podium.
I'm seeing a story that he told reporters he was between 285 and 290 at minicamp.
At minicamp? All right, well, then he's up around 300 pounds. I think I got 275 because I was like, no way he's 285 or 290. I think that was the number I had in my head.
Yeah. He said at the time that he planned to get up to 300. Looks like he did.
I think he's probably right around there, and he looks good. He is an athlete, and I think he's going to have a good year as long as he stays healthy. I think the Chiefs, knock on wood, I think they've got their left tackle figured out here for a while. Running back, Amari DiMercato was at the podium. I think he is definitively the number 2 running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. I asked DiMercato Andy Reid how DeMarcado is looking.
So I like the pass protection. I like the way when, he's not going to bounce anything or do that. He sees it and then he lowers it and he hits it. And in the run game, and I think that's important. Pass routes are pretty good. So he's played. He's got experience. It's just pushing yourself through this workload. And I like what I'm seeing here the last couple of days.
Kind of same thing with Johnson as he come along.
Yeah, same deal. Now younger guy, so he's learning as he goes here, and he's pushing himself. So you saw a couple of these where he's got to drop the pad level down. You go in high at this level, and you're going to get rearranged, and you don't want that to happen.
You do not want to get rearranged.
That's the first time I've heard that metaphor. It's fantastic.
Talking to Emmett Johnson, I followed up with how's he looked. I think DeMarcado, though, is definitely number 2 on that list. And, I asked DeMarcado as far as, his passion for the pass protection.
I take a lot of pride. I think that's just where I found my niche in the league. So to stay on top of that and, to be able to protect somebody like Pat, that's a big deal. So I take a lot of pride in that.
You mentioned earlier about, nobody really wants to do that because it's, but he said pride in that. I think that to me is an acknowledgement that it's not something that's fun to do. If it was fun to do, you would say, I take pride in sitting around eating pizza and drinking beer. No, he takes pride in doing something that he knows
it's the grind.
Is a grind. Yes.
It's the grind. I mean, if you're a salesperson and you have a handful of big accounts that you manage, but you're still grinding out all the cold calls, trying to find that next thing, and you find a few new clients because of that. That's the grind. It's not what's sexy. It's not what everyone thinks you're a star for. It's handling those big major accounts, but you're adding on. And you're going through the grind of getting it done. Or if it's a big client and they are just an insufferable pain in the ass and they need a million different things changed all the time, and you're grinding through doing it, keeping them happy, nobody sees that work.
No.
Right? But that's the grind. Well, same thing in football. The pass protection for running backs, there's no stats.
Nope.
There's no stats for that, no glory for that, but it's critical to the success of the football team.
But in discussion about his ability as a pass catcher, I think earlier you said maybe this is the Jerick McKinnon player they've been looking for since McKinnon left. Well, that's one of the things that McKinnon did as well as anybody in the league. He was a fantastic pass protector. He would just, whoever it was, he would go right into the belly. He was a great pass blocker.
DeMarcado was asked about the difference of training camp in Arizona. He said, well, training camp in Arizona was indoors. He talked about being outdoors and those kind of things. I asked him, one of the things that's different because most teams aren't going to dorms, right? They're not going to college. I said, Andy likes to do that. He likes the camaraderie. I said, do you like the dorm life?
It definitely takes you back to college. It's an adjustment, but it makes you grateful. And like you said, just getting to bond with your teammates. Like, it's nothing like the locker room, I think. So, when you first get here, it's a shock, but it's been great.
Yeah, put out an SOS for like, oh man, I need another pillow. Or...
I did go get another pillow. I did.
All right, new pillow.
Yes, I can imagine.
The new pillow.
Pillows are important.
With Todd in the 3 o'clock hour. You can catch that on the podcast at 810WHB.com or on that 810 app. We talked about some of the things Harrison Butker's working on mechanically and, timing-wise and, not having the kickoffs maybe to work on as much because it was all new last year. But what about his range? He was asked how far out he can knock it through now.
Throughout my entire career here, I feel like the only time I've hit a field goal longer than 58 yards was the end of a half or end of a game. So even when the wind's at my back, it's like, all right, we get the ball to the 40-yard line, it's a 58-yarder. That's what I'm expected to make. The other stuff is very rare. I need to be able to dial that up, but the majority of my kicks need to be 58 and in. And even I think I was looking up, if you took out the field goals from under 30 yards, which are kind of chip shots, everybody pretty much makes those. If you take those field goals out, the average field goal distance is like 45 yards. So I'm really trying to focus in on that number. Let me hit 40 to 50-yard field goals consistently. And if you're doing that, then a 53-yarder or a 37-yarder is still kind of within that range. And you're kind of mentally used to that and physically used to that.
In the kicking period, they brought him out. He was 10 for 10. They move it from one hash mark to the other, back, and over in different spots. And he was 10 for 10 in that stretch. And then they went down and he had 2 or 3 kicks on the other end that they would run the drive and then, okay, the drive stalled, you come on in here and kick. And at one point, he duffed the ground. and had a good laugh about it. He said, Andy Reid said, he reminded me, the football's the brown one. Don't kick the green one, kick the brown part.
That's good.
So he had a good sense of humor, but he looked really good on the 10 for 10, but did have a missed kick, but I'm not too worried about that. We'll take a break, come back, wrap things up next with the kicker.
But first, the La Feta Delicatessen end of the hour answer. Who's the only player to hit 30 homers in each of his first 5 Major League seasons?
30 in each of his first 5, Albert Pujols?
Albert Pujols hit his 30th in 2005 on this date. I'll tell you how good he was the first part of that decade. First 10 years as good as just about any player you'll ever see. The numbers are ridiculous. His 01 through 10 seasons is just insane how good he was.
Ridiculous is how good these sandwiches are at La Feta Italian Delicatessen. LaFetaDeli.com, people. Get over there, 143rd and Metcalf. They're on the southeast corner, coming soon to Prairie Village as well. Voted the number 2 new restaurant in Kansas City. It's La Feta Italian Delicatessen. Adam and his staff are great. Sandwiches are phenomenal. The charcuterie boards are wonderful. They cater as well. Stefan Diggs has signed with the Washington Commanders, so everybody can get off our ass about why not Stefan Diggs to the Chiefs. Damn. And I don't know that I've ever heard more of a saving face announcement of a contract for an agent than this is. Right? I mentioned everyone's like, well, Stefan Diggs is out there, Deebo Samuels is out there. Find me the Deebo Samuels contract if you can. Wasn't it 1 year?
1 for 4, up to 7.
Up to 7. But originally it was announced as 1 for up to 7. Well, the details we have on Stefan Diggs is it's 1 up to 12. The key is what it takes to graduate it up and how much is guaranteed. This will be the 5th team for Stefan Diggs, who will be 33 years old this year.
2,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. I mean, that's a big qualifier.
No chance. No chance. But, I mean, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of incentives, and it's probably going to be in the $4 or $5 million range, with the incentives going up to 12. Now, listen, I like the receiver, Stefan Diggs, but do you really want him coming and talking trash about Patrick Mahomes? Because that's what he did with Josh Allen. I think the guy's a pain in the ass. Let Washington go ahead and try to